be here, and I'm so happy to see all of you. Y'all, please share this live. Share this live. I know it's a lot going on the streets tonight, but we are here. We are here for another amazing conversation tonight. We're going to get into some things. I'm so excited about this topic. We had an amazing show last night. It was so good. If you have not caught the show, please make sure you go catch that replay. Listen, it was so good. Shout out to my sis Tati in the building. Yes, and y'all make sure y'all smash that like. Smash the like on the video, you guys. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Please subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed, you guys. Tonight's show is about how your father shapes your love life. And it says the father daughter connection that no one talks about, but honestly, it's the father son, father daughter. And, this is the topic for us all. We're talking about relationships. We are bringing together our community. We are here to unite and really like address trauma, right? And address our insecurities and, some things that might be holding us back. You know what I'm saying? I think these conversations are very important. So I'm excited, y'all. There is a poll in the chat. So make sure you vote as well, so we can go over the results of the poll. Y'all show out last night. We had 68 votes on that poll, and it was split 50-50. It was crazy. So listen, y'all make sure y'all vote so we can get into it. Y'all make sure y'all check out my website, qualityqueentv.com, and go ahead and grab your You Want It With Me t-shirts, okay? Support the channel. Shout out to you guys that have already supported. I need to do a giveaway. I need to bless y'all as well. So we're going to try to think of some creative things that we could do to show love back to you guys that support us. I truly appreciate all the support. What's going on, Trip? Hey, girl. Hey. Shout out to Trip in the building. Y'all got to go check out Messy Metaphysician. She's the messy metaphysician Trip, okay? Y'all go check her out here on YouTube. Shout out to Richard Lomax in the building. Little Richard L. Listen, Rich is awesome. Awesome. And my friend. And yes, shout out to Rich in the building. Hey, Ange, my girl. Shout out to Ange in the building. Hey, Nathan. Man, all my people are here. I'm so excited to see you guys. We're going to get into this topic. Thank you, sis. Look at my girl dropping the lizard. Ah! Yes. Thank you, boo. Shout out to y'all. What's up, y'all? So let's get into it. I'm going to drop the link. I think I dropped it already. So the link is out there, you guys. Y'all already know we are going to get into this discussion, honey. So first, what I want to do is, hey, Maria. Hi. Good to see you. Good evening, girl. It's a lot going on tonight. Shout out to my girl, Incoming Opinion. Listen, we out here, okay? We keeping the streets popping. My girl is live covering that Clarissa Shields content. Shout out to her. When I tell you, my homegirl is on it, and I love how, we are supporting each other, and shout out to her. She is live right now. So if you guys enjoy the Clarissa Shields content, Clarissa got everybody buzzing right now, and my girl is on it. So shout out to her. If you don't catch it live, make sure you catch that replay, and make sure you show my girl some love. All right. So let me see. All right, let me get and then I got to check on the poll. But yes, y'all, I want to read the description just so we are all on the same page. Y'all, I just want to say thank you so much for all your support with the relationship topics. I think we've been doing really, really well. I appreciate you guys' engagement and just really, sharing and sharing your stories as well. Last night's discussion was really, really good. So shout out to Empress Queen. Shout out to her. All right, you guys. So we're basically going to get into daddy issues tonight, okay? And I know that there are a lot of us that can relate to daddy issues. To me it feels like maybe my generation, maybe yeah, I feel like around like in the 80s is when it was like a peak in single motherhood or something. I don't know. But we're going to get into, you know, um how that can be a wound, or there's going to be a lot of different perspectives. I think shout out to my girl Lucky. We kind of had started getting into it, and I was like, I'm like, let's save it for the show, so shout out to you guys, and whenever you guys are ready to click the link, come on through. So a father's love, presence, and guidance can influence the way a daughter sees herself and the relationship she builds, but every story is different. Tonight, we're having an honest discussion about the father daughter relationship, what happens when that relationship is absent or unhealthy, and how those early experiences may shape adulthood, self worth, boundaries, and dating. Hey, Quinn, happy Friday. Girl, you got to remind me when your trip coming up so I know not to bother you, girl. Not that I bother you, but I'm just saying you gotta remind me when your trip coming up. We'll discuss the importance of a father's presence, emotional availability versus physical presence, how childhood experiences can influence adult relationships, breaking unhealthy relationship patterns, healing and becoming emotionally healthy, choosing better partners instead of repeating cycles. This isn't about blaming parents or judging anyone's story. It's about understanding ourselves, growing, and creating healthier relationships for the future. So, let's start our conversation, guys. I have a question. Thank you. Oh, y'all win? Girl, that's what's up. I'm glad you had a good time. Hopefully, you had a great time, girl. I can't wait to start taking vacations, okay? I need a vacation. All right. So, what lessons did your father teach you about relationships, or what lessons did you have to learn on your own? Ooh, that's a good one. Child, listen, I feel like I had to learn it all on my own. I'm gonna be honest. That's a good poll question. Let's do ones in the chat. Y'all want to drop a one in the chat if your father taught you about relationships, and drop a two in the chat if you had to learn lessons on your own. So I'm gonna drop a two. So one in the chat if your father taught you about relationships. Hey, look who's my girl Rose T, my sis, my big sis is in the building. Shout out to Rose T presents the Mask 2.0. Y'all better hop in on that challenge. All right, y'all. So drop a one in the chat if your father taught you about relationships. Drop a two in the chat if you had to learn lessons on your own. So I put a two. Rose T. Okay, okay. I'm not gonna call it right. Okay, Ann said one. Quinn said one and two. Okay, okay. You learned by his actions, not his words. But I think you have put a two as well, Maria. Let me see. No, what did Okay, Trip said two. Okay. Wow, look, and that's some real shit, Ange. That's some real shit. Ange said, my dad taught me, but I still picked a loser. Damn. I love the honesty. Okay, we got a two from my sis. Okay. So I'd say we have more twos than ones. Okay. So, well, so that's why this conversation is really important, you guys. Like I said in the description, that, this is about understanding ourselves, growing, and creating healthier relationships for the future. So, um, now, can our earliest relationships influence our expectations later in life? Um, Absolutely. So I'm going to read that question again, y'all. Can our earliest relationships, which, as we know, the relationship with our fathers is your first relationship with a man, and that is your father, right? So can our earliest relationships influence our expectations later in life? Absolutely. Absolutely. I have had friends that have told me that their father would open the door for them, that their father would, have conversations with them about how a man should treat them. You know what I'm saying? And how they should carry themselves as women. And I think that our fathers are the best examples to teach us such, because they have experiences with women, not only just our mother, but any other woman that they've had to deal with, even the relationship with their own mothers, right? So Nathan said, this is definitely going to get deep. Yes, it is, Nathan. This is a deep topic. Yes, absolutely. um, so therefore, I feel that daughters per se, right? And I know that the father-son relationship is different, but I feel like we can still touch on that as well. And I want to encourage our men that are in the building to, please share your experience as a from a boy's perspective, growing into a man. So it works both ways. But I feel like the women, hey Empress, there she go. There she go. I feel like um the females that get that type of knowledge from their fathers early on are the ones that set those expectations from men when they start, looking to be courted. And said, oh, Rosie said, my father was a horror and fair weather at best. Yeah. Some of our fathers were Rolling Stones, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Doo-doo, doo-doo, wherever he laid his hat. Ah, that should need a drink. You better get you one, because I definitely have me one, Nathan. Shout out to you. I am sipping on La Marca Rose Prosecco. So cheers, you guys. And I also have the limited edition Publix natural blueberry pineapple juice. It is delicious. So, okay, y'all get y'all condiment. Get your snacks, your drink. It's gonna get deep. So what do y'all think? I feel like, the ladies that get that experience from their fathers earlier on, it definitely sets the precedence. I feel that those women are more likely to be married, you know. Um, I do see that there's a difference. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay, I'm looking at y'all comments. Talk about it, RT. Some fathers want the best for their daughters, while the daughters pay for their horror ways, the sins of the father. Yes, I'll be having a drink as soon as I can. Okay, okay, good. It's great if there's a father around to teach the girls what to demand from a man. But I think it's incumbent upon us older aunties to teach the young girls as well. Yes, I think so. I feel like low key we should bring back what are those schools for girls to teach them etiquette etiquette, programs and stuff like that. I'm honestly grateful that I did not have a girl, but it's not like raising a boy is any easier. I wouldn't say that, but it is definitely different. Definitely different raising girls. Okay, Nathan said, I feel like even if a father is around, which is important, we still have to make our own decisions and hope that they are the right ones. Absolutely. I mean, that's all a parent can do is you teach your child in the way they should go and you trust that they go that way. I mean, that's literally all we can do. Once your child is an adult, it's like, all right, it's on you now. My father absent never defined me as a woman whom I became. I had some strong women in my corner. That's what's up. Wow. Yeah. My dad was absent a majority. I did not meet my father until I was 25. And I probably should not have said that. Considering, but that's real shit. You know what I'm saying? And I am not ashamed of anything. I am so excited to move forward with my content and be transparent with you guys and relatable, because that is part of cultivating a community is to let you guys know, like, I am not perfect. I don't think I'm better than anybody. And I feel like, you know, we are real people with real lives. And I feel like people that sit on this app and watch real people that share their real life and they pick and poke and make fun, I think something is really, really wrong with those people mentally. And all I want to do is just lay hands and pray for you. You know what I'm saying? You are possessed. Um, and so therefore, I'm going to continue to be who I am, a grown, mature woman. I think I have dumbed myself down enough since I've been on this app for 3 years, and I'm refusing to continue to do so. I am a grown woman that is about my business, that is loving and kind, and I'm going to continue to be who I am no matter what anybody says about me. And I accept any and all, misunderstanding of me as an individual. Sometimes people just want to misunderstand you because they don't like you. You know what I'm saying? And we could get into that topic and conversation on another day. Because again, it's all about relationships with other people. And so Nathan said, I also think it's easier. And I don't know why. For some reason, I navigated there because I feel there's an energy right now that wanted something from me. So that's what you got. I also think it's easier for men. My dad was like, here's some condoms. Don't you dare come home with the wow. And yeah, that's pretty much all the advice that a guy gets from his dad. That is funny. That's true. Funny but true. Yep. Quinn said, Nathan, that's the talk. Women get a whole 5-year lecture. Yep. It never stops. It never stops for women. I met mines twice. Second time was at a funeral, and that was because I wanted my children to see where I came from. Wow. Wow. You feel like it's easier? Trip said it's okay to share your journey with no shame or judgment. It makes you thank you, Trip. Thank you. Yeah, we are not perfect, man. And it's the most freeing feeling when you could just be yourself, carefree, no nothing behind it. I feel like the people that talk are the ones that are afraid to do just that, you know? Yeah. So let's talk about the father's role, you guys. So I have that the role of a father is to protect, right? So just imagine, those households where that protection is absent. I feel like that's why, you know, hmm, there's so many consequences when a household lacks protection. And it just seems like we got so comfortable lacking that protection. We got so used to um, being okay, not having that protection there. My dad lived in the home, but still wasn't an active parent. Ooh, everything I was told was from my mom, and even that was limited. Wow. And it's funny you say that because I did think about there are some times where both parents are there, but if someone's not giving you attention, not showing you love, it's like you might as well not even be here. Yep. Nathan said my mom was where I got my sincere side. Yeah. Yep. And that's what a mom's role is to nurture and to love, whereas the dad is more, you know, um a little more stern, tough love. Yeah, Tati's strong. So another thing, ooh, this one is a good one, y'all. Validation. The father's role is to validate their child. I agree with this 100%. Um Now, with validation, because we see it all too often where people seek validation from other people, and I think it's very important that validation starts in the home. Before these children even step foot out the door, they should be validated. I'm making sure I keep up with the chat, y'all. I also have boundaries. um I want to say that that is what a father's role is, to teach their child boundaries. I also think that, these are things that us as mothers can teach as well. But like I said, I feel that certain things hit different and can be delivered differently coming from a father. There's also emotional security. And I think that's a big one. As I'm looking at this list, um, I think about, when you hear people say that, they're looking for someone to fill voids, like I feel like those are voids that women or even men might seek to be filled because they lack that growing up. They lacked those things in the home. And lastly is confidence. And I agree. I think a father's role, especially early on, is to I'm sorry, let me take this comment down. I'll be leaving these comments up on the screen, and that's unintentional. Um Oh wow. See, that was the thing. Hey, Swirl. Look who's in the building, y'all. Swirl Gang is in the building. Happy Friday. Hey, Charles is here. Okay, then. Shout out to y'all. Happy Friday, y'all. Good to see you. Okay, let me see what my sis said. Hello, Sammy Chat. I feel like an absent father sets a young lady up for failure. Okay, that example of a man needs to be present for so many different reasons. Yes, you know, I'm leaning towards that opinion as well. I do feel like um again, a woman that grew up in, that type of household with a father present, a present father that covers, those things that I mentioned as far as their role, they become a lot more successful in relationships, in my opinion. Wow. Wow. So you didn't start building a close relationship with him until right before he passed. Wow. That's got to be difficult. I'm sorry, Maria. Shout out to y'all. It's crazy how men look for women like their mother. They say that, Nathan. They say that, and women look for men. See, I wouldn't necessarily say look for men like their father, but I find, and I don't know, ladies, let me know what y'all think about this. I find that we attract men like our fathers. I feel like I do. Speaking for myself. Let me drop this link because y'all already know y'all are welcome to get on up here and let's get into this conversation. All right, Charles said dads of a certain generation were taught a way of life because of life circumstance, and then it became a silent tradition that was passed down. Ooh, okay. I agree. That's kind of how I opened up the show. I feel like we hit a single motherhood epidemic in the 80s, and it just became like a I feel like that's one of them things we started normalizing. Um we're taught a way of life because of life circumstance, and then it became a silent treat. Woof. Facts. Well said. Um a father sets precedents of how a man should treat us. Absolutely. Absent fathers can lead to women making poor. Exactly, Swirl. Exactly. Yep. I did not look for a man like my father. Yeah, I didn't look for one either, but I will say that that seems to be, you know, um, what I end up. You think we subconsciously, mm, on a subconscious level. Okay. Okay, I could see that. That's a better way to put it. Okay. Hey, I can't wait. Okay. Okay. I wanted someone that had my father's kindness, but more outspoken and outgoing. If that makes sense, my father's too nice sometimes. See, me not being introduced to my dad until I was 25, I had already, I was already introduced to things like sex, drugs, I mean, I was 25 by the time I met him. So that, you know what I'm saying? So we skipped all of these things that his role was supposed to give me early on, and that's the detriment. That's what Swirl Gang is saying. That's why I'm like, yes, I can totally understand that. The link is in the chat, y'all. Let's get into this convo. See, yeah, you know See, I don't look. I can't say that I look for someone like. Okay, you said the 50s. Okay, okay, I could see that. See, I that's not something that we learn in history. It's so intriguing hearing all those responses. Yeah. Yes, y'all. Please make sure you like this video, share this video, subscribe, and yes, become a member. All right, let me go to the next. So let's talk about when that relationship is missing or difficult. Okay. Let's talk about some of the things that happen when that relationship with your father is missing or difficult. Yeah. I mean, there are certain traits of my dad that, I do love. And then there's some that, you know, we could maybe do without. And listen, if we could build a bear, we would. Okay. If we could build a bear, we would, guys. But unfortunately, life does not work like that. We cannot make people, only God can. So, you know, man, I just missed my spot. Okay, hold on. Oh, good. It didn't knock me too far off. Okay. So when that relationship is missing or difficult, okay, let me read Tripp's comment first before we get into the next part. My parents divorced at 12 and my mother was in a relationship directly after the divorce. So my absence led to me not wanting to be in a serious relationship. I thought everything was going to end. Wow. So, okay, because I know, well, we don't have to get too personal, but I know we're all kind of aware that you live with dad. So you have a close relationship with your dad, I'm assuming. Um so my absence. Yeah, no, me and dad are good now, but it's still I did, like I said, I missed him the early part of my life. We're just building a relationship. It's, we're not yeah. Okay. And we got Charles in the building. All right, here's the link. Yeah, I'm not saying I don't have one with him now. What's going on, Charles? Welcome. Let me drop the banner.
Nothing much. How's it going?
It is going well. Happy Friday. Thank you
Happy
for hitting
Friday.
me. Yeah.
Oh, it's no problem. I was gonna jump on before I lay down because I got work tomorrow. But
Okay.
yes, ma'am. I was listening to the conversation, and the topic to
Mhm.
me ties into what you were talking about yesterday. Where are you in love with the potential as whenever you meet somebody? Is that my background?
Oh, that's probably me. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, let's mute up while he's talking. But welcome to the stage, Trip. Good to have you.
oh,
Okay.
okay.
All
As
right.
far as their potential, I'm sorry. As far as that potential, as far as somebody's potential goes, and I believe that a father, honestly, both parents in the extended family help with relationship things because it's not just the independent thing that we in life, you know. But as far as the father topic goes, I believe is yes for both. One for both daughter and son, you're supposed to be an example to whatever degree because you are going to end up meeting somebody like a family member. It's been proven that even if you think that your child won't be as successful as you, they are used to that lifestyle, so they will at least reach the point that you got to in your life, right? So that means that they will also develop the same type of relationships that you have set around them as examples. Hello?
That's deep.
Oh, yes.
Mm. Did you
But
did you catch the replay?
yes, I caught the replay while I
So
was at work. Yes.
good
And,
stuff.
and a lot of things, I know a lot of the weight falls on the father because even the black father being out of the household is a recent phenomenon, but it's a split thing even with that because whether you're a dad or a mother, you still shouldn't raise your child based off of what you lacked in your childhood, right? I can't raise my children saying, well, I need to make sure you have what I didn't have because you don't, you're ignorant to the world anyway. I should make sure that you have access to everything that you want if you've earned it, right? Or everything that you show interest in. Not because I remember what it was like growing up and I didn't have all the brand new tennis shoes or brand new video games or my Christmases weren't as extravagant as I thought it should be because you're basically not allowing that child to have their own life because you're projecting your past traumas or past problems into their life. Did I lose signal again? Oh,
We here. I'm here.
No,
oh,
we just pausing while you just speaking and just letting it,
y'all ain't
process.
y'all ain't got to pause. Y'all can cut me off if you need to. That
Oh
silent.
no, I
Oh,
was
Oh,
listening to
this is
you and you were saying a lot of things
go
that
ahead.
made
Tap in,
sense.
Trick. Tap in.
You were saying things that made sense, and I wanted to correct my comment. My comment was that okay, so my parents divorced at 12 years old, and I did not reconnect with my dad until 2015, and I'm 45 years old. So you guys can do the math right now. So from 12 years old, my mom was in a lesbian relationship with somebody and divorced my dad. And that absence was very tumultuous for me because at that point, I was like, okay, I'm losing my dad. My dad's outside of the house, he's gone. And so, and then, okay, I get time with my mom. And then all of a sudden, a new person moves in literally the day after I find out about the divorce and my dad is gone. And so it turned into a situation where I just knew I was going to be by myself and I was going to be basically raising myself because my mom found her person that was her new partner. And
Ah.
and so I'm 12 years old. She works at the school that is 2 blocks away from our house. Watts is a small community. So everybody at that time knew each other. So everybody knew the business. So not only is Shatali's mom divorcing her dad, uh, Shatali's mom is now coming out as a lesbian and she a black woman and she's dating the person, her coworker. So it got all this news.
Oh,
It got all this news. We was the gossip for a long time.
wow.
There was people that was like coming by the house and they would see me outside and they'd be like, I still love you, Shatali. And I'm like, what did that come from? Where is that all about? And so the absence of my dad, I didn't really know that it affected me until I would have arguments with my mom, and my mom would say something like, you want to go with your dad? You want to go with that alcoholic? You want to go be with him? And so she would, it was like, you already threw me away. Now you trying to throw me away with somebody you don't allow me to see. So it was like a total mind fuck going on. And so that time was really, really hard because from 12 to 2015, I it was like I don't have my father around. And so um I went into a whole phase. I went into a depression phase.
Mhm.
I went in and I ate like crazy
Mm,
over all this stuff. And
mm.
then
Now, I want to ask you something real quick before I forget.
uh-huh,
What was it like being a child experiencing your mother's relationship?
horrible.
You know,
Horrible
talk.
because
Hey,
my mom was like,
welcome. Let's welcome Rich to the
What's
stage.
really good, Sims? What's
Hey,
going on?
Richard.
Hi, couple.
Hi, welcome.
Man, just listening to the show. I wanted to dive in because I missed last live. I ain't interrupt. Finish what she could finish what she was saying.
Okay, so
it
so
was really horrible. It
okay,
was horrible because I felt alone, purposely isolated, and I was only dealt with because I was still growing as a teenager. So I was bused to school. So if you're in California, I was bused from Watts to Chatsworth every day. No, Northridge, California, and Chatsworth. That's where I went to middle school and high school. So I
mm,
was bussed out every day. So my days were already long. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning
wow.
for 6 years. So um, it was already like, okay, you're out here. We come back, we pick you up, and then you leave. It was like a routine, but it wasn't parenting. There was no parenting because, like I said, my mother already had her person. So it was like, I clothe you, I feed you, and that's basically it.
Mm.
And I only pay attention to you when you make some kind of trouble. I didn't make no kind
Now,
of trouble or anything, but it
now,
was go
did,
ahead.
did her partner um add to a parenting role for you, or?
Absolutely, absolutely. Her partner,
Mm-hmm.
for the first, I want to say about 4 years, it was kind of being forced that this is your other mother, and I could not take that because I barely had the mother that I had, and so it was all of us living in the house. It was I'll just say her name, Terry. It was her and her stepkids, and stepbrother and sister. It was me, and it was being dealt with that they would call my mom, and I would call their mom Terry. And so it was always a dynamic, and Terry was very jealous of anything that I would say to my mom as my mom because, like I said, when they connected, they literally forgot about us. And me and Victoria were still kids. And so they forgot. Like they only paid attention when they had to. And so it was like constantly walking on eggshells and constantly just not feeling like you're really with your parent. You're just in a house with people. And
Now,
yeah, go ahead.
during that time, where was your dad mostly? Like,
I
for
had no idea. I
so
had
so how did you and your dad come together?
Okay, so in 2015, I had a resume. I forgot, I want to say I had it on Career Builder, but I'm not sure. And it had my name, Shottley Brown, on it, and it had my email. And my dad found it online, typed in my name, found it online, and sent me an email. And I was going to work, and I saw the email, and it said, "Hey, is this you, Shottley? It's your dad. Call me." And I
And
was
how
like,
old
"This
were
got to
you,
be spam. This got to be spam."
how old were you at that time?
Okay, we got to do the math. So 12, and I'm 45 now. I want to say over 20 years later. I want to say at least over 20 years later. If anybody could do the math for me, you go right ahead. But I couldn't do the math right now.
So you
And
were in your 20s.
no, no, no. Hold on one sec. So
Cause
um,
when you were 12, what year was that? Cause you said from 12 to 25.
33 years later, I found my dad. 33 years later.
Really?
Yeah, 2015. 2015. Yeah.
Oh, that's 11 years ago.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And so I got that email and I looked and I went into the office and I sat down and I called the number and I said, Dad, and I heard his voice. And I
Mhm.
just started crying. And
Yep.
I just started crying. And then like 2 days later, we saw each other and we've been connected ever since.
I was 25, but my situation was similar as well. I had got a phone call from my dad. Um,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what's up.
Yeah, so I can say that
Oh, all right, Swirl. Good
I
night.
I can
Rest
say
easy,
that
swirl.
good night, swirl. I can say that it was the absence
Mm-hmm.
and what connects to the absence was it just by events of things that I would do because I really didn't I spent over that time not
Mm-hmm.
really like being in relationships, not really being connected to anybody because I'm an 80s baby. I was born in 81.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up with my parents, even when they were together, they were very secretive because they were raised very secretive and not to tell stuff and everything. And so I didn't know until there was conversations or stuff like that about certain things that I thought I needed to know in my life. So the absence of my dad
Mm-hmm.
was just it felt like a void. It really felt like a void. I didn't really know how to deal with people because
You
especially men.
and you made some great points of like you said you experienced like overeating,
Mhm.
maybe being promiscuous,
Mhm.
not knowing how to properly, engage, I guess, with men. Now I just want to switch for a moment. I want everyone to get an opportunity to
Yeah,
talk.
go ahead.
Okay, but thank you so much for sharing your story trip. And then this is a conversation. So as we continue going, please jump back in. But
Okay.
Rich has the experience of being in a two-parent household. And so, Rich, I'd love to hear your thoughts on, the topic because I I can tell this is kind of like swaying towards our single parent household. Um, but Trip has a unique story as well because
Mm.
she wasn't necessarily in a single parent household, but one of her parents was in a different relationship and her dad was outside of the household because of her mom being in another relationship. But please share. I'm gonna mute.
Well, I don't have any like drama or anything that's more so like heartfelt
And it
where
doesn't.
like where there was a situation that happened and I'm like, oh, this is that. I felt like I had a normal life. I felt like I had a father and a stepfather.
Mm-hmm,
Even in my mother's death, my father was still in love with my mother. Um, and he vocalized that at the funeral. Um, and they had an amazing relationship. And I think that later on in life, they decided that they were going to probably get married.
mm-hmm,
But, that didn't happen. And he still holds on to that. But I will say, I didn't have, I'm a military brat.
mm-hmm.
My stepfather worked for the city. He had like keys to the city.
Oh,
Mommy she worked for the city as well. I didn't, me nor my sister, we didn't have any, I mean,
good.
we just lived normal
Mm-hmm,
lives. We had normal teenagers, normal teenagers growing up. Like, We did normal teenage shit. We gave problems here and there. I was more of the problem than anything.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
wasn't anything
Well,
crazy.
no, and not that that's what we're looking for, but the topic is just about the like the dynamics of the father being present in the household. So one of the first
Mm.
questions I asked, and then let me know what, because I don't know if you have put. Did you see when I asked the question? I was like, put a one in the chat if you're this one, or two if you're this one.
No, I didn't see that, but I did
Okay.
answer the poll
So
too.
let me ask you. So let me ask you your opinion now, and Charles as well. Both of y'all, if y'all want to, because I know Trip answered at the time when I asked it. Hey, Ray CEO,
Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat that I did not see or say hi back to. Hey y'all,
happy
world.
Friday.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so the question is, did your father teach you about relationships, or did you have to learn lessons on your own? So it was a one in the chat if your father taught you about relationships, and it was a two in the chat if you had to learn lessons on your own. So are you one or two?
Both actually, both.
Mm,
I think I shared where I had the experience on my own, but that was primarily because I didn't listen. My situation is similar to Rich's, where my dad was basically strung out on drugs. He was still in love with my mom too, but my stepdad came in to me and my sister's life early on to where I can remember when he wasn't in our lives because I'm the oldest out of all the kids. And then I can remember the difference, because my mom, she was 15 when she had me. And I can remember the struggles that she would go through, uh, not eating most nights to make sure me and my sister ate. And I can remember those points. But
Oh wow.
when she met my dad, it was like night and day. I had never seen two people complete each other the way that they did. Even though I spent a lot of time with uncles, my grandparents, mostly my granddad and grandma, with their family and seeing them and interacting with them. Whenever, like, I'm born and raised in Decatur, Georgia. I had never been outside the 285 parameter until she met I call him my dad until she met my dad. My dad worked for DeKalb County Police. My mom as well worked for the county. He was military. He just retired from both of them. My mom is still working for the county. And most of the things that I learned, they would openly talk, have those conversations because unfortunately, they had parents that were victims of the same thing that I think her name is Trip was just talking about. They were raised by a partying generation. And so a lot of things that they didn't see, they allowed us to see. Like even fights. I didn't grow up seeing my mama get yelled at. So naturally, when in my relationship, I don't raise my voice with the woman I'm with, because you can't yell or disrespect the person that you say you love. At least that's what I was taught. Was that the way when I started interacting with other women? No. It'll immediately go to yelling. And me sitting there waiting because most times, and this was something that I was taught, a lot of women usually never saw that two parent dynamic, right? Or a man respecting their moms, or a man not listening to when their mom was talking. And so I realized that even growing up in with my dad and my mom interacting, that was completely different from what I would be encountering. So some of the things he would tell me would be completely different from what I would be experiencing, basically. And so I had to figure it out, create a balance, rework it and make it my own.
Okay, so for me, that was the story was touching. This pair of lady, I ain't finna do this shit with y'all tonight. I'm not
and
doing it.
I wanna
Yeah.
welcome Paulo to the stage, and
Hey Polo.
Yeah, what's up, y'all?
we have another
What's
guest in the building. We have
Hmm.
Benjamin. Welcome to the panel.
What's up, Ben? And so,
Wait,
me and
wait,
Baby
I
kind of,
was asked a question
Wait, wait, Rich,
and I didn't get to answer. So back up, Polo.
Rich was actually starting his. Go ahead.
Yeah, Polo, the back up, the back. Um, so the question was, what did I learn relationships from my father or so? Can you ask the question again, just so I can answer it accurately, please, if you remember?
Yes. So the question right now, guys, and this is for everyone on the panel. So we heard from Trip and Charles. So the question is, did your father teach you about relationships,
Hmm.
or did you have to learn lessons on your own? So one, if your father taught you about relationships, or two, if you had to learn lessons on your own. And some people are saying both, and some
Right.
people are choosing one or the other. Okay.
So mine's is both of them, like Empress said, both of them. But there's a twist to the both of them. So no, I did not get
All
the
of welcome.
lessons.
We're gonna have a conversation. I'm sorry, Empress, I love you, but listen,
Oh,
all are welcome. All right.
so mine's is a twist. So yes to both. However, I had to learn on my own. And then the other one was yes, I got taught involuntarily about relationships by seeing and witnessing certain things that I like and didn't like. However, this is a conversation that I brought up a while ago about the um, how important it is that when you become a parent, that you are a parent because you want to parent all types of children that happen to have all different walks of life, not just automatically thinking that you're going to have a heterosexual child because that just doesn't happen that day. It's just not something that, yep, my uterus is going to perform the duties of having a heterosexual child and that's that. No, there's possibility you have a gay kid. And my conversation shows ago, I don't know if anybody remember, is that there's a level of irresponsibility that comes with certain parents because they're not preparing themselves to raise gay children. So no, my father didn't have those conversations. My mother did. She said, you know, wrap it up, use protection, you know, what she call it a
But
um
I want to piggyback off that because
wait, I ain't done with you can't piggyback on something I ain't finished.
no,
Benjamin.
I just want to
You can't piggyback on something I ain't
father
finished. Don't
I
throw
want
father
to
my
gave
talk
me a
too.
question.
I want to
hold
talk too now.
but I'm not done. Let me put a period on it. What is going on right now, Sammy?
I'm
I'm
sorry.
being attacked. I'm being
No,
attacked.
no, you're not. No, you're not. It was just
Oh,
please, let's wait for everyone to
oh,
finish it.
Know
oh.
that motherfucker be dramatic
Wait,
now. You know,
don't
Yeah,
Yeah,
Patty
yeah. Can
want
we talk? I
Patty we
want to talk
want the
too.
nurses.
I want to say
oh
Patty
something
my
too
want
now.
gosh,
nurses,
that's Sug.
customer
Yeah,
That's
care,
Sug.
we've been
everything.
talking for 5 minutes.
please.
I've just started speaking, and these two thugs are trying to tackle me. Sammy, I don't understand what's going on. Is this a safe space? Is this a safe
Absolutely it is.
space?
Okay.
Okay,
Let's let
okay. I said, however, I learned certain things from my mother, um, and it's just a level of immaturity that comes uh, with raising children. You're supposed to be raising all sorts of children from all different walks of life. And to be unprepared, like my father was, with explaining to me, not necessarily how to properly have something as a heterosexual male, not to sex or anything like that, but just the basics. You know, you want to treat people like this. You know, you want to wrap it up. You want to make sure that you know, you get tested, and you know all things that I had to learn on my own, and how to treat people and how to maneuver through relationships on my own based on what it is that I've seen that I don't like from people in general and my own parents. So yes, I'm finished.
I want to welcome Lucky Luciano to the stage. Welcome,
Oh,
Lucky
Polo.
Luciano. What
hi,
about the most
No,
Lucky.
hated?
we ain't get no grand interest like that.
I said I
What
want
about
to
the most
welcome
hated?
Polo to the stage. Benjamin, Lucky Luciano. Welcome everyone to the stage.
Hello, welcome.
What the heck
What's
is
up?
going?
What's up,
So
y'all? How y'all
let's
doing?
Lucky,
start with Benjamin. Let's start with Benjamin. What Benjamin want to talk about? Because Beef Patty just
nah,
said that
I
the
want to talk
father.
about. I want to talk about the topic.
Oh, go ahead, Polo.
Yeah,
I don't know what
yeah.
All
you want
right,
to talk about.
so
I'm talking about the topic.
my
Do
thing
you got
is,
kids, Polo?
yes, I don't want no girl that ain't been raised by her daddy. I want a girl that got a daddy or a male. It could be her uncle, it could be her granddaddy, it could be her
Hold up.
brothers,
First,
it could be her neighbors. I don't want no girl that ain't been raised by her daddy, man. Girls that been raised by her mama or her aunties or women are bitter. I don't want that. No. No, no, no. I want somebody submissive. And, like I said, it ain't even got to be your daddy. I preferably, but it can be your granddaddy. It can be your uncle. Just men. Like, I'm not one of those insecure dudes that my girl around men. No. Because to me, everybody always think the mama, the mama, the mama. To me, the daddy is more important than the mama. I've always felt like that. A dominant male role model is what's important. I want a woman that's been raised by a man. And I thought that was her topic. I mean, I'm kind of like intruding
That
in,
is the
but
topic. Stay on that, Polo, because you've been watching me. You've been studying from
I
the
ain't been watching
military.
you. You ain't
You
got
been
no daughter.
go ahead, keep talking, keep talking. You been studying
But
because I
yeah,
got
man,
that
I don't want.
seed. I got that seed for their ass. Go
I go
ahead,
ahead.
keep
You go ahead.
talking.
You go ahead. Like I say, I want like
And this is
you
why
gotta
it's
be
very important for these women to be raised by not just only
a
a father,
man,
but not only
a
just a
man.
father. I'm gonna say both parents though, Polo. I'm gonna piggyback with you,
Okay,
even with beef at it. But
man.
both
To me,
parents
I
is
want.
very.
I
I
need a
was
man. I
privileged,
want her to
Polo.
be raised by a man. She gonna
Okay,
be submissive. She gonna
single
cook.
parent.
She gonna
Okay,
clean.
yeah, no, no,
Man, I mean,
no, no, I
the
won't say
daddy
that.
more important. The
But you
daddy
gonna have
more important than
principles.
the mama. The daddy more important than the mama to me. For real,
We
because
understand
that
that. I
daddy
don't
gonna
want to
cut
argue at
grass.
you,
I
Polo.
think that
I
both
don't want to argue at Polo, but I want to get my point off though, Polo.
Go ahead.
But everybody was quiet. I want you to hit your motherfucking mute button. B
All right.
Patty hit his mute button. We got motherfucking Lucky Luciano in the building. Sammy got the most hated in the building. Oh, being in here? Yes. And I want a father figure. And you know I'm a single father, very proud, talk my shit like I can. But both parents though, Polo. I love a single woman. I mean, I love a woman that been raised by their father. Principles, morals. But the whole structure, the whole matrix, gonna need both parents though. A father can't when sister would talk about I remember
I
my
don't
sister.
believe in that. I don't believe in that.
I know you don't
It need a
believe
man.
in it.
It need a man. It need a man.
Women need a
Or
man. What
a
about
dominant.
even the
Nah, the
son need
kids.
a father?
Nah, the
Even the
kid. Yeah,
son
and a
see
daughter need a
see
father. Don't nobody need
see
no mama. Man, you need a daddy. Man, you need a
no, no,
man.
they do. A mother is very important. Cause
Nah,
that
the man
seed,
is
I got
important.
the seed polo. I got the semen. I can only put it in Sammy. I could say I could put it in you because you was born a woman. I
Nah,
can't put it
hell
in
no, no, no. This
no
going left.
other
Hey, hell no.
the
Nah,
negative stuff
hell
that they going
no. Hell
everything I
no.
say,
Hell no.
Sammy, they're gonna take it and twist it. But we doing constructive talk right now. Real talk though, Polo. Not I'm just using you because you
I don't
jumping up.
want to just
Oh,
hell no. Use Rich. Don't use me.
well, we be quiet then. Let me talk. I'll leave you alone. But since you wanna, I'm gonna say the women, you gonna represent the women, motherfucker. But if you be quiet,
okay.
you won't have to represent nobody. I wouldn't even
Trying to
implement you
stay
in
on
there.
topic.
We stand on topic. The topic is some people think a man is important. Some people think a woman is important, raising a female. But a female, I agree with every dude came up here and said, "Oh, female need a man." They do, Sammy. But
Hmm.
the matrix, she need the complete. She need that mother. A
Hmm.
mother, and this is why I'm very grateful to my baby mother, Sammy.
Hmm.
And I want to address you though first, Queen. And fuck Polo. Polo understand because Polo told me I'm not a single father. That girl to see you money, and she will. This
Hmm.
same dude, B Petty, saying some great shit. And the other brother, I don't know him too much from two things, and I ain't heard from Lucky Luciano. But what Benjamin is saying, I'm raising a son though. Petty
Hmm.
said things you can. Father in their life, it's just like teaching them from being a gangbanger. It's no different from their sexuality. But if it's in them, if some of these men's raised by these women and these dudes ain't no father in their life and they holding these bags and they putting their hands on it the wrong way and be, you know, smacking and like Sammy do all the time, mimicking her. Instead of mimicking a man for the sons. But we talking about women. Women does need, but the matrix, the complete, the whole structure, you're gonna need the two. It's just like if it was a man we talking about, a son. Son need their father. We all agreeing that these women need their father. And
Right. So,
a son,
I agree. I agree.
mhm.
a son
so
don't need
so
their
did you
the
so
son,
Ben,
a mother.
so
Give me
Ben,
a minute. I'm gonna land my plane
okay,
and
okay.
let
Thank you so
Lucky talk.
much. Okay.
I'm gonna do that, but damn, I just had 1 minute here. Everybody going, oh,
No,
nah,
I was
move
gonna
in.
ask, I was gonna ask you a specific question.
But go ahead, Queen. You can ask me anything you want. You can. Because I told everybody we over here at Sammy. Polo, what we said we gonna do.
We
We
said we about
going
to
to
come
Sammy.
over here and fuck with Sammy, and we gon' hey, yeah, we that's this, hey, this home, this us,
It's home. Fuck
this
what we
us
going
right here.
through.
I
Polo
Yep.
got dumped, beef patty.
No,
That
no,
that
no, no,
girl
no,
dumped
no,
his
man, no,
ass.
hell, no, man, no, 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 no.
Adam
You
Heavy
got
got
dumped too.
dumped.
You
oh,
got
Polo,
dumped, nigga.
hey,
You got dumped,
Sammy dumped
man.
me. I
You got
told you,
dumped.
I'm man
So,
enough to come
no.
over here.
hey, hey,
Beef
hey.
patty. Beef patty, he said you won't.
Nah, hell
I said,
no,
I don't
man.
give a
Come on,
fuck who
man.
doing
Let's
it.
be on topic. Let's
We're
stay
not
on
Stay
topic.
on top.
Let's stay on topic.
okay.
Scary
So
ass dude.
did your father teach you about relationships, or did you have to learn lessons on your own?
My mother and father. I had a complete matrix in my
They
life.
taught you about relationship, like
Relationship,
how
love. Even the first time I ran away, I was 8. But I was still affected. I was still coming back home. I was still able to do all these things I was a child though, Sammy.
mm-hmm,
That 8 years old babe, that's a baby.
mm-hmm,
Baltimore is fucked up. Fucked all the way up, Sammy. I'm telling you.
mm-hmm,
Ain't nobody in Baltimore thinking like this shit can be really be done. Because there's so much corruption. The police corrupt, the mayor's corrupt, the judge corrupt. You could pay if you got that bag. Oh, you good. Ain't nothing for the tell you. This is why I be telling some of these dudes. They talk about I'll pull up on you, and we gonna stay on topic when they be doing this shit. And I say your life ain't worth shit. And
mm-hmm.
this is why I be telling them it's so much. People don't have to run away. That father figure is very the semen. I got the sperm, but I need a woman. But sometimes with technology right now, though, Polo and Sammy and people
Nigga,
that
your sperm might be
no,
polluted. Motherfucker, we don't know. Your shit
but
might
hold
be
on,
all
but whatever
dried
you
up,
want to
rotted
say,
out. We don't
okay,
fucking know.
whatever you
Hey,
want
nobody
to
give a
say,
fuck about your
whatever you
goddamn
want to
sperm.
say,
Fuck
whatever
you
you
got,
want to
man,
say,
but don't nobody
Polo,
motherfucking
and
know.
stay on topic
That
now.
shit probably
Be
Okay,
dry.
patty.
Oh
Stay
my
on
fault.
topic.
okay. So let's
So
let's
no,
Oh
no,
hear
no,
from
let
God.
him talk. No,
so
let him
let's
talk. But stay on topic. But let me land the plane real quick. But I'm gonna be done with that. Whether it's is an intoxicated semen or whatever, you take it to the lab, Polo, they can make it happen. You're a woman. Your eggs is what they want. You can't do
Bitch,
shit.
hey
That's
man,
all they
hey,
gonna
be
want from
real,
your
goddamn
tired ass.
fool.
all
Be
They
right.
want
real,
your
goddamn
eggs.
fool.
Oh my
They
Be
goodness,
want
y'all.
real,
your
goddamn
eggs,
fool.
Polo. You was born. You was
Y'all
born a
Man,
woman. They gonna say,
what the fuck that got to do
"Would
with
you
any
agree with
goddamn thing we're talking about right now though?
you?" Just talk about my seed
all
was
right,
going
let's
through
hear
Now,
from
I ain't say
nothing.
shit about your
But
goddamn seed, nigga.
you just
let's
said it was sperm. Well, go ahead. Let me
Well,
just
alright
finish.
then.
But
That shit
Sammy,
probably
thank you for
dead.
allowing the
Your
most hated
sperm
up
is
here.
dead. That shit dead, nigga.
See how you
That
said
shit is
it
dead.
again? But let him talk.
Uh,
Y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel.
thank
We
you.
got the people in the building. I'm finna go on mute.
Thank you
Lucky
so much.
Luciano. Thank you, baby.
Okay. So Lucky, welcome, Lucky. And I'd love to hear from you.
How y'all doing? Good evening. So I mean I didn't get to hear, a lot of what was said. I just came and hit the link and I
That's
just
a
ended up
very yo, that is a very interesting avatar you have there. What? You so messy. You are messy. You,
But let me
you get
wait,
on
but let
my
me
nerve.
let me get on top. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Let
yeah,
me
you
stay on topic before I offend
know.
some people. Um, I mean, it was a euphemism, but anyway, let me keep it going. All right, what I'm jumping in on and what Polo was talking about, right? That they were trying to say that the mother mattered more or the father mattered more, and I think Polo's position was the father mattered, right? So I
Yeah, yeah,
feel
the daddy more important.
that the
100%.
daddy, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
And I feel like it goes by assignment, okay, not biology, because you know it's the presence
Science
of
and
whoever.
biology gonna line up with the father though, Lucky. That's the semen. That you can't do nothing. You can't reproduce by yourself. They if they can have a woman, but in laboratory you can't take you and
Ain't
generate
nobody
life.
talking
But
about none of that shit though.
you need
Man, we
no
talking
no
about
you
goddamn who more
need that
fucking important,
seed
cuz.
though. You
Man,
need
don't
the
nobody
seed.
ain't nobody talking about no fucking nut. We talking about who the more important
That's all. The
parent.
man more important. You
No,
just
no,
stick to the
it's
basics.
not about who's more important. It's not about that either, y'all. Y'all are taking the topic out of context. Hold on a second.
But uh yeah, because I wasn't even talking about that. Uh,
No, it's
right, but
actually about the dynamic of the father missing in the household, or if you feel that it is important for the father to be in the household. It's not about who, you know what I'm saying? It's about the effects of a child that doesn't have that father in the household.
right, exactly.
Right. And
So
I'm saying
so
that the daddy should be there. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if we're talking about dating, like I wanna date a woman that has been raised with
Right.
men.
I get your point. I do get your point,
Hmm.
Polo, when you say that. I can understand that because as a result of a woman that is not raised in a household with a father, they
Hmm.
lack some of the characteristics that you were saying we
Yeah.
cannot deal with.
Now, Sammy, were you raised as Sammy and Lucky? Were you ladies and Rich? Were you ladies raised with men?
No, I wasn't introduced to my dad until I was 25. I didn't meet my dad until I was 25.
Now, big, because you see that because I can 100% pick up when a woman ain't got no daddy. So Ben, she could you see
You
like
know
did you
what?
what Ben, could you see that like could you see that man
Why
she
you
ain't
address so big? I had my
because we
father
on
in
the
my life.
panel. All right,
I
well
had
suck it
both of
then.
my. I told you. I had both of my parents
We
involved
ain't
in
talking
my life.
about you. We talking about the woman.
You keep saying Benjamin,
That
and I'm telling you about the.
man, I
Listen,
was asking you
I'm gonna
about
tell
her.
you again. The seed
I
is more
wasn't
important. I
asking you
agree
about
with
you.
you. I was agreeing with you when you said the father. Even with raising a kid, even with the single father, the missing father, a father is very important all the way around. Securing the family, whatever you want to talk about. I'm a single father. I got a lot to talk about, but I'm gonna be on mute again.
I got something to say because somebody brought up a topic saying that a man can't raise a daughter by himself because he can't teach her about the body. So what
Mm.
about proper education for both genders and allowing them to explore themselves the same way that Rich brought up, and then forgetting the traumas of your own childhood to allow that child to be raised to be who they were meant to be? Because yeah, we need semen, yeah, we need ovaries, but still when the child here, what you need after that then?
That part.
It
That
go
part.
with both ways though. But
Because we're
this why
talking
I say,
about the
but
creation part of it. But
but
we
this why both parents is it plays a role. I'm a man. And for me to be sitting there saying, I just me, I'll be lying. I need that queen, bruh. And any nigga tell you they could do it by themselves, they did their mother. They gonna have to go to a laboratory.
Well, no,
When
you want the
anything,
female
fight,
there, but you don't
no,
need her
no,
there.
no.
It's not a
I'm a
need.
single father, bruh. Now I
We're
know,
talking
Rich.
about we're talking
Listen,
about being a father
raising a
of a
woman.
young lady, not a young
Guess
man.
what I'm saying? It
And
get,
what I'm saying is, you said that you need my queen there, and I love the idea of that. But you don't need her there. You want her there, because there's plenty of
no, but
fathers that
see,
raise young women when the mother passes
see,
away
this is
or
why I know
things
you're a
happen to the
selective
mother.
listener.
You think
This
they're
is why
gonna
I
give the
told
baby up
you.
for
They
adoption?
just need a man just for, they could take my semen to a laboratory and make life. They can't take them women to the laboratory and
What
make
they
life.
got to do? What they got to? The
They
baby.
What does that
need
have to
that
do?
The
seed.
baby
This is
already
why
here. You venturing off. You venturing
you
off somewhere
mentioned
else.
Polo,
Ben,
you
you act
mentioned
like semen
Polo.
makes its own baby without an egg, so you both need each other. What are
It
we talking
can.
about?
Technology moving right now. Y'all blind as
Nah,
fuck.
we talking about right
Okay.
now. Y'all talking about we know that the
Okay.
fuck. Y'all go back 30, 40
Okay.
years talking about I seen it.
Bruh,
No,
no, I'm
motherfucker,
just
right
saying
now.
that it's
Right now.
still
Do you want
What is
man,
this?
just
you want a
the
woman
straight
that
up
has
down
been
relationship,
raised
Polo.
by a man.
I understand what you're saying, Polo, right? The straight up down relationship. I can identify with that. This is what Benjamin wants. Man and woman. I ain't talking about no laboratory. I'm just saying how important the seed from a man runs so far. People don't even understand this shit.
Ben, what does it
It'll
have
blow
to
your
do
mind.
with an absent father in
Right.
a young woman's
It
life?
does.
I know.
Nigga, you don't need
I,
no.
Exactly.
okay.
You
Okay, so what? So what?
right now. Okay,
Wrap
how
it
about
up.
this?
Wrap it
You
up.
can
You moving too slow.
listen.
You
You can
talking
have
too
a
slow.
robot being that motherfucking baby daddy. Right now, technology is so advanced right now in 2026. But guess what? In 30 years, in 20 motherfucking, let's say 2070, 20 motherfucking 60, they ain't gonna believe in the most high, ain't gonna be no churches. It's gonna be churches, but it's gonna be like at a minimum.
What the fuck
What
that
does
got
Uh,
to
this
do
uh,
have
with
to do with
goddamn a
anything?
the
woman having a
man,
daddy in
because
her life? What
it's
the
gonna be
fuck that got to do
technology.
with right
Ain't
now?
gonna be
We
no
talking about
women.
right now.
Ain't gonna
We
be
talking
no.
about right now, nigga.
I'm
Right
not saying
now.
That's right
The
now. I
fuck
love
you
right
talking
now.
about?
I
you know.
love
All right.
yesterday. But what y'all gotta understand, y'all ain't into right now. Y'all into a time right now. I can identify with everybody. Keep it on the subject. The man, the women
Please
is
do.
very important. But this shit y'all talking about is cool. That's small talk.
No, no, no. You don't
Well,
get to
it's a
decide what the
conversation.
topic is of Sammy's channel.
Yeah,
This is what
No,
she
not,
decided
I'm
to
not
declare.
it's
That's
doing
what
none
we're
of that.
all.
I
Sammy,
can.
don't
Can I?
amen for them, Sammy.
it's a
Can
And
I?
just,
Can I say
let me
something?
just finish. You can say whatever you want, my boy.
Well, you don't
What is
even
she
need
talking?
semen anymore, actually. You only need a skin cell. As far as science goes, as of 2023, I want to say, you only need a
You,
skin cell in a
you don't need
cow's
what in the
womb.
skin cell. Nah,
No, you
let
only
you
need
what in the skin cell.
you can look it up right now.
Yeah,
The
you
technology
gonna
is
need
already here. It's not
you gonna need
2060 or
and this,
2070. It's
I,
already
I,
here.
I
but
could
the
even say
thing.
you might be right. And this how science is moving right now, bro. If you
And
can say that, you don't just need that. You can just need the skin cell. Just listen at what he's saying. It's not just that, not the seed,
But
Benjamin,
we're not
but
going
not
that
nothing
deep.
from just a woman. You need
Right.
just the skin cell from a man. Everything revolve around that king. I'm a king. I'm an African. I'm just telling you. Y'all go ahead. I'm going on mute.
No, it's okay. We're not going that deep into it though. Again, that's more about the reproduction and biology of it. Now the thing I see some of you guys are putting comments in the chat that men can't teach femininity and women can't teach, but unfortunately, you guys, we're in a society where some of us have to. We ain't got the we ain't got no choice. There
but
are men
then,
that are raising daughters. Okay, hold on, y'all.
uh-huh. Well, I agree with Sammy to a certain extent, but y'all do realize that we possess both the testosterone and estrogen. And 9 times out of 10 in women, estrogen is a little bit more potent than testosterone is, but we possess both. So that's why I have more, a little bit more femininity in me because I have a little bit more estrogen in me than testosterone. However, femininity is in me and it's in all of us as well as masculinity. So what exactly are we teaching women how to be feminine? Femininity is something that it exudes in you regardless. And so is masculinity. Polo's masculine. but has feminine tendencies because of the estrogen that's inside as well. But Polo is a masculine presenting female, male identified. So I don't understand what the you know what I mean? What are y'all talking about? Like I can read a book for my daughter to let her know when her menstrual is supposed to start by science. Science says it'll start around this age and it'll last all the way to this age. And there's some in between bumps in the road that I need to prepare myself for. I can read it in a book. I can ask another female that's in the household, not in the household, that's a part of the family. I can go to the library. I can read about it on YouTube. I can
Um,
prepare a child or a daughter for the issues or the situations that will come
So
with being
that
female.
is a great point. And one
so
second, I have
okay.
someone that wants to say something before they go to bed. Please go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Okay. Good night, everybody.
good night, Chance.
Good
Good night,
night.
baby
Good
number
night.
Good night,
one.
Night,
Chance.
night, 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 night.
Yeah, yeah.
Night, night.
Okay.
Good night, baby number two.
All right.
Good
Oh,
night, baby number one.
So, so
Don't be no
Richard,
hater, Patty. Don't be no hater, Patty.
nah, so Richard, if you got your husband, y'all are willing to adopt a little girl,
uh-huh.
and um, okay, yeah. I mean, to me, I don't know, man. Like I said, I cannot stress it enough. And I know people will get mad, you know. And Sammy, I like that you. That I told you yesterday that I do want to come up here and be a little controversial to say what I want to say. And what I want to say is, I do feel like the daddy is more important. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe man. The daddy. Like you gotta, the little girls.
This
You
isn't
need a
about
man.
a competition. P, I listen, I love you and I respect you, but this isn't a
Okay.
competition of roles. It's asking, do we need both roles in the household for the sake of our children, for the sake of
But
future
yeah, I mean,
for
of
the
course we
sake
do.
of future relationships, because we are the example that our children see when it comes
Well, for
to
relationship though, Sammy, we talking about the
But we
kids.
already
For
know that though.
relationship.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
We already know
no.
that. Like that's like
Well, if we talk about relationship, we don't need to have the kids involved. That's a
if we
personal
knew
opinion.
that.
But if we talking about kids, they need both parents. Stepdaddy,
And that's what I'm saying. If we
stepmama,
knew that,
real
why is
mama,
there so
they
many
need
broken
that whole
homes?
support structure to benefit them, Sammy.
it's
They
broken
do.
homes because the man leaves. That's why. Because the woman is automatically
Some
stuck with the
women
baby.
need too,
So
Polo. You
no,
just can't
no,
blame the man.
wait, we not man. We it's broken
Some
homes
women
because that
need
nigga
too.
left. That nigga left.
Some women need too, Polo. We just can't.
No,
Let me go on mute.
no,
My
it's
bad. My
and
bad.
that's not the no because the man or she pushed him up whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? And that
Sammy, can I say something real quick? I just want to say something because I think this
Just
conversation
fit in where you fit in. Absolutely.
is looping into experience instead of wisdom and action and inaction. So from my experience, I grew up from 12 with two women. My dad was divorced and he left for 33 years. And I didn't see him until adulthood, until 2015. So, what that void did for me, his absence did for me, was turn me into myself because I didn't have anybody to talk to necessarily of what I was going through. I didn't have a male role. So when I started dating and started to go out with men, it was always me being attracted to certain things that my dad was, that I remember from my dad. Mainly, I was dealing with a lot of people that had substance abuse issues or had some kind of mental issues, and I was trying to repair them because of not understanding the relationship that my mom was in, because that's how I got introduced to LGBTQ community as a child, and being forced to call
Come on.
somebody else my mother. And then while I'm being forced and while I'm being ignored, I don't have that. I'm lacking my father. So I always turned into myself. Polo, you're talking from experience and the experience that you want in the future. But saying the words that you think the father is more important is kind of cutting off your hearing what people are trying to tell you. Both of them are important. And you kind of, I hold up a mirror to myself and in my experiences, and I have to deal with the lack of my dad wasn't around for 33 years. My mother, it hasn't been around since 2013. And so I have to deal with myself. So I'm not saying you have to change the language, but I suggest that you do so that you can see.
But Trip,
Wait, 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 hold on. Let me finish. I'm going to land the plane
No,
and then I'm not going to say nothing else.
let them finish. Cause you know Trip, your girl though, Polo. Let her land.
I'm going to land the plane and then what I'm saying is that language is important because if you look at the chat and they're saying you need both, you have to kind of say, okay, I'm eliminating one, but I want that experience. You want that whole person. You want that healed person. So how are you going to get that healed person if you're eliminating another person out of your equation? That all it comes back to is changing the language. One is not better than the other. It's just putting them in the language so that you can get the experience that you asked for. That's all I'm really
Well,
saying.
well, I also want to piggyback
okay,
off of
Let
what
the
you
other
were
brother
saying.
talk.
Hold
'Cause
on,
we
hold
got a
on.
I,
bunch
I,
of women up here.
So,
I,
Y'all need to
so
let the brother talk.
also
Let the other
just to
brother
kind
talk.
of
Can we
give,
hear from Lucky, please? Because she didn't
Yeah,
get.
let them debate. Shit, this is good. Mind your
Yes,
business, man.
Nah,
please.
let,
yeah,
yeah.
because
let,
So,
from the man.
I
We gotta
wanna
hear
answer
from
I
Trip.
man's
Please,
point
also
of
want to
view.
say that
Man's
please,
point
y'all.
the
of view is
first
very
man,
important.
so your
Okay.
father, he's like the first man that you ever studied, right? He's the first man that you studied. Okay. You watch how
Exactly.
he treated your mother. You watch what made him show up. You watch what made him disappear. You watch whether his moods or whatever, if he felt like he was coming home angry or whatever, if he had to do something, that was like, you watch whether that was your job to regulate him. Okay. So whatever he did, that was your normal. Okay. That's not your ideal. Okay. I'm not saying that's the ideal, but that was your normal, right? Big difference. So it in a daughter, right? That's what we find that behavior familiar, right? And familiar is like is kind of like what the body chases. We want what's familiar. Okay? And how your father treated you as a child,
Mm.
right? That's what sets the baseline, right? That's not your ceiling. That's what sets the best line baseline. That's the lowest thing that you will accept before you call it disrespect. Okay. So I'm just saying that. So I think that's why
What about the
I'm
females
gonna
that
land my
was
plane.
abused so lovely
I'm gonna
and
land, I'm
and
gonna
still
land,
hold
I'm
men?
gonna, yes. So
Yeah, like
I'm gonna land
I
my
don't believe
plane.
in none of that, man.
So
I don't believe in none of
if
that,
his
man.
attention came from when you performed, right? You're learning that, okay, if you work, you know, if I do this, I know I'm gonna get love or whatever, right? So I think that's what Polo is trying to say. Maybe that the father is more important, but what I'm sorry. What Polo is missing is what he's missing is that uh when you have an absent father, right? It's like he leaves something unfinished, right? Maybe you don't have any closure. That apology you didn't get from him, whatever. That whatever, right? It's like you're chasing that from another man to get closure on that. And sometimes that's why when you're with the wrong man, it feels like, oh, that's my soulmate or whatever, because you feel that familiarity with him, right? So I think that's where Polo is coming from on
But
that
it
part.
ain't. It's not.
But oh, it's not okay. Well, let me
No.
land my
Like,
plane anyway. But I want to
okay.
say that these people who claim they have daddy issues or whatever, right? It's really about good caregiving, right? It's not just the presence of a man being there; it's their participation. Basically, that's it. The participation of whoever's there, right? Who's going to be consistent in that child's life? Who's going to have that child feel safe? And it doesn't have to be a father specifically. It could be a grandmother. It can be an auntie, right? It could be, there's plenty, you know, it's just it this it's whoever makes the child feel loved, right? Do who even if it's it doesn't matter the gender in my opinion. Whoever makes that child feel loved and not just, oh, this child is useful, if that makes sense.
I agree. I agree. However, I also feel that that love and affection and teaching, exemplifies when there is more than just the one parent. Yeah. So thank you.
Exactly, because the father is also important because of course we know with absent fathers, right?
Mm-hmm.
That if he's not participating, then poverty can be a risk. That's less opportunities because you don't have that income coming in. It's a lot more struggle, and all of that stuff that comes
You
with it.
also,
But that's
I think there's an
Mhm.
increase in
And
even
see,
gang
yeah,
activity. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Being a follower instead of being a leader. But I plan on teaching my son leadership because I'm a leader. You know what I'm saying?
But
So
that goes with poverty too, I think. But anyway, let's not talk statistics because I don't have all of that. But I'm just saying that from my personal experience and from looking at, because I
I
mean,
feel like we
I
have
personally,
like both. We have situations where, because everything is situational. There's fathers that are there, and there are fathers that are not there. And then we're talking about the ones that are not there, and as far as females, how it is that they adapt or act in relationships with an absent father. There's also
yeah,
fathers that are in the household that are presently there, but don't do a damn thing in the same
right?
relationship. You know what I mean? So are we
Yeah,
talking
that's what I
about
was trying to
the
say.
father that's there in the house? Or are we talking about the father that's actually, you know, in the in their child's life
If you
and
gonna put it like
active?
that, Rich, sometimes this is why I dig deeper than just that. What you speaking of, the stepfather, somebody not the biological, who not there, the
That's not what I
stepfather.
said, Ben.
But I'm gonna just put it like that. But then one thing I'm gonna
Why?
tell you, because I'm making facts.
But Ben,
Sometimes
that's not what I said. How are you
sometimes when
gonna?
you get these sisters, be sitting
He
there.
said,
And,
he said, are we
go
talking
ahead,
about the
go ahead.
father that's there or the father that's not there?
That's what he
That's what
just
he's
said.
saying.
That's what he said.
But that's
I'm
not what
finna
you
address it.
saying.
I know that's not what I'm saying, but I'm
How
finna
you?
address it why it's so important. Because sometimes when we sit there and have an absent father, this is why I'm a man though. Lucky, that was lucky,
Oh,
right?
Yes.
yes, it was lucky.
Because sometimes a stepfather teach these deadbeat ass daddy lucky, and you pregnant right now. And I want you to make sure that that dude that you pregnant from gonna be a father to that child.
So
I
it's
how
never
you
her
do.
been?
husband. She
Hold
married.
up, y'all let me God, dog. I said one word, y'all ready to
Benjamin, my husband is in the
I
bushes.
can't get a
Okay.
word out.
Yeah, I'm
My husband is
yeah,
sorry.
in the
you weren't
bushes.
finna say a
We
word a minute ago. You weren't
my
finna
husband
say
Shit,
is
a
in the
word a
bushes.
minute ago.
I can't get a word out.
But go ahead, get your word now, cause I'm gonna go back on mute, cause I got a lot of time. Cause your
Go.
energy ain't together.
Mm.
See, now you
Um,
quiet. I hit the
No,
mute
I
no,
button. Now
because
you
agree.
quiet.
I'm thinking that we talking about like is the daddy importance
Now
and
you thinking.
I don't know. I thought that's what the topic was. You know
It
what I'm
was,
saying?
and we're bringing it home because there's
So
different
we
factors in being present. to describe the type of female that you're describing, that's father is not
Man, come
active. You
on,
said that.
man.
You said
Richard,
that
Richard,
that
if
was.
you Richard, if Richard, if you got a woman, right? You don't want no, I don't want to say weak, but you want a woman. You don't want no. You don't, man. You want a woman that got a daddy that treats you like a man. Man, no, because women that don't have no daddy, they go for anything. And okay, so that let's just say that because that's not what I come across, right? I don't come across women that don't have daddies that's like naive. I come across women that don't have daddies that are fucking bitches. You
But
know what I'm
see,
saying? They
Polo,
too. They,
it's
but Richard, can I talk? You talk for 10 minutes.
Damn.
okay. You're
But
right.
now,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, they be fucking bitch. It's more of a I got it. Bro, let me tell you something. I try to take a woman out on a date to the movies, right? Here we go. We go to the movies. You ain't gotta pay for my ticket. And then, I try to open her door. You ain't gotta open my door. And then we go. We ain't gotta sit on the same row. I'm thinking in my head, nah, you ain't got no daddy, baby. Like you, women that are raised with mamas and aunties are bitter bitches. You know what I'm saying? They are
All
bitter bitches. I don't want no somebody that's I can
That's
do it for
your
myself.
experience, Polo. That's not everybody's
But
experience.
okay, but you told your experience. Let me tell
I
mine.
told briefly, but I'm not bitter and I'm not a bitch. And I have my dad in my life right now.
Yeah.
We go
So all
through
right, so
three
therefore you not a bitter. So
experiences in
you
our
you you
lives.
proving me right. You are proving me right then. Your daddy there, you not a bitter bitch. You proving me right.
Okay. All right. But I would encourage you to put this all on a dating profile because
But
it's
it's open
basically
panel. We
your
can talk.
experience.
But trip. You came up here and you talk and you told your experience. So can I come and talk and tell my experience?
Absolutely. I'm just chiming in and I'm just saying that
But
you're making a
nobody
lot of
chimed in when you
generals and
talk.
absolutes and it's just kind of like
Nobody
okay.
nobody chimed in when you talk. Right? Nobody chimed in when you talk. So can I talk? It's my turn to talk. And that's it. That's it.
Talk your shit,
Cause I can't get
Polo.
a word out without somebody cutting me off. But y'all want
Talk
to
your
talk.
shit,
Y'all want to
Polo.
talk and tell y'all story without getting cut off. But when me and Ben want to talk, we got to keep getting cut off every other word.
Well,
That's
respectfully, Polo, I'm sorry. I do, want us to stay on topic if we can, you know. And it's no disrespect. It's just that the conversation kind of swayed, and I want to make sure y'all understand the topic and what you know what I'm saying. That's all.
yeah.
Mhm.
so I'm
Your
off
ex.
topic.
I mean, according to Sammy, possibly, but Polo, you also got to understand that your experiences are coming from other people's experiences, and it doesn't necessarily identify them
Don't be
as being
blaming Sammy
fatherless.
for that shit, Patty.
It doesn't necessarily
Polo's not off
identify them as
topic.
being
Polo, you're
fatherless
not
or
off topic.
father
It just
or having
disagree with
fathers in
your stance, bro. It's
or
just a
having fathers in
disagree.
their lives. But what it does display is sometimes there's situations that females go through that makes them that way. And it doesn't necessarily mean that their father is or isn't there, or that they were raised solely by their mothers. They could be going through situations where they hate their mothers and their fathers, or vice versa. But um, every situation is different for certain females with or without fathers. And but the question is that we're speaking about those without fathers. And what I've understood by experiencing, since we're talking about experiences, certain women, not all, but certain women that don't have fathers, or they have trust issues. They make bad decisions in men, whether good or bad. Um, they think they make good decisions in men, but the decisions are based on what it is that they have not necessarily understood about men. And there are some women that have fathers in their homes, and the father is literally like we just read in. Well, I just read in comments a while ago, in the basement her entire life. So does she technically have a father if he's in the house and not present and actively present in her life, giving her the ropes of what it is to look out for bozos, how to pick a fight or not to pick a fight with a man, not to put her hands in a man's face, and if so, call me baby girl and I'll come defend you. So you know what I mean? There are certain things that every situation is different. There's some women that experience not having a father and refuse to become the statistic or the type of woman that will tolerate anything from a man. They become more independent, excuse me. They refuse to settle for bullshit immediately when they realize a man is not worth whatever. And then there's some people that just have it. They understand what it is to be valued. They understand what it is to not be disrespected, and they won't tolerate it. And Polo, you paying for somebody's ticket at a movie, and she telling you she could do it herself. I mean, she could just be being a bench. I don't. Maybe she's not into you, Polo. I don't. I don't know.
I feel
But
like
I
women that are raised that don't have daddies are bitches, and they be
listen, listen.
hoes. They be hoes too. They be either you gonna be a bitch or you gonna be a hoe. Hey, right, Rich?
I know hoes that
And
have
then,
fathers.
Ben, hey, Ben, okay, Ben, what you think, Ben? Ben,
Fuck Ben.
don't you
Fuck
want to,
Ben.
don't,
Fuck Ben.
Ben, don't you want to meet her
He's
daddy?
not up here.
Whatever woman.
Polo,
Oh,
he isn't up here.
oh, my fault.
Oh, thank you.
No, I don't know what happened. He might have got a phone call because that usually happens when he's here. So,
So for instance,
mhm.
um, Trip was just saying that her father wasn't present for the duration of her upbringing. He came back in. They came together. Just to sum it up. So if Sip is making bad decisions, just hypothetically speaking, if she's making bad decisions in men, once she gets that healing and whatever it is that's going on, I'm pretty sure that after she finds out what it is that she missed from her father while he was absent, figured out what it is that made her feel the way she felt, realized whatever and channel whatever it is that was allowing her to pick the bad dudes, if she picked that. I'm just speaking hypothetically, right? It gives her the opportunity to right the wrongs and fix what it is that's bothering her about her father's absence, heal, and then make the better decisions. If she hasn't already done that for herself prior to her finding him, her finding him could have been an icing on the cake for her own healing journey. She might have went through the situations where picking bad dudes, fucking up and realizing, yeah, I'm making bad decisions. Let me go ahead and fix that for me. And then the icing on the cake is finding out where her father was, why he did whatever, to kind of soothe some of that childhood trauma. Am I wrong?
Hell yeah, you wrong as fuck. You talking a
Oh,
whole bunch
fuck
of
you,
bullshit.
Polo.
That shit ain't nothing you said made
How is he
goddamn sense.
talking about bullshit if
Well,
he's
I'm
talking about
just,
me?
I'm just speaking
Because
about Polo.
man,
I can say,
because
and
Trump.
for
Let me
me,
tell you something.
there,
Okay,
there
all
are
right.
there are things that I recognize that are triggers. Like, um, I'm not a bitch. I can be though. If I'm not being respected, if I'm not being treated the way I should be treated, that's not because I didn't have a daddy. That's just based on I want someone that's going to make me feel good, not make me feel good,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. It
That's
has
not
Mhm.
true. That's not
And
true.
Rich, you were right on point with that, because when he did come back in my life, it filled the void that I needed as
Mhm.
an adult, because I can't act like a child when he was gone. So it filled the void, and the healing came in because the questions start getting answered. And sometimes in the healing, answering the questions is more than 50%, 75% of the battle, because you're an
Mhm.
adult, and so you deal with it in the way that you deal with it. When my dad came back in my life, he was what, 10 years clean and sober. He had a
Mhm.
home.
great,
He
but
has,
you
huh?
were already an adult woman. So you
Right.
already went through experiences and traumas that could
Yes.
have been avoided had the man been there since you were, from birth, from conception.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's
So
what
when
we're
he came
saying.
back and he showed that he had his healing and his recovery, and when we reconnected and I saw all that, that brought me a portion of healing that I didn't even know I needed. It made sense to me. And now that we live together and whatnot, it's we're in, like, some people say we have three stages of life. It's like I got taken care of and he gets taken care of by watching me, and it there's a reciprocity there. So I don't feel that I'm bitter because of that absence. You have to ask a person what they go through instead of just being absolute and general and saying that all the people, all the women that didn't have the father in their life is a B and this and that and that. I don't believe I necessarily come off that way, but I did get a lot of healing. I did get a lot of questions answered. A lot of things moved away from me when my dad came back into my life and I saw that he was doing well and whatnot. This was 11 years ago, but he was doing well. He had a place. He wasn't drinking anymore. He had a job. He had employment. He was doing the things that made him feel good, made his life feel good. So when I seen that, a lot of my childhood trauma just it stayed as a child, and most of it
And
healed. So
right,
there is more to it than paying attention to the trauma and the void instead of being the adult and finding the ways that you're going to find the healing, because we are
right.
adults. We're having a conversation about what happens when the father is not there, but you know I would encourage to move the conversation into how do you heal from this as an adult, because we didn't have the options. We didn't have the options
Because
when we were a child. Yeah.
right, because especially when a parent leaves, whether it's the mother or the a kid, they don't blame the parent. They usually blame themselves.
I blamed
Okay.
myself for my dad's absence
Yeah, they
for
Mom,
blame
did
they
you
blame
years.
know what that comment
they
said?
and
Oh, sorry.
so and so I felt like what Paula was saying about how they are bees and they are promiscuous
But
and stuff like
yeah,
that. I feel that it's because, well, what what Polo had encountered was that the lady or whoever, she wanted to be, you know, undeniable. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you can't, it's just that they're, you can't, I'm everything, right? So it doesn't matter. But what Trip was saying too about, I feel like when you have that absence, right? When the daddy's gone and then he comes back when you're adult, right? I feel like there's another angle to it because remember when you're a child, you blame it on yourself as a child, right? So then it kind of kills that story that it was actually about you why he left, right? Because I feel like when the parents are separated, the kid feels like, oh, I wasn't worth staying for, right? And but then, this grown man, he sits in front of you, and then you find out what it actually was. It was addiction, right? His whatever, shame, whatever. It was never about you. You understand, like, okay, it's about him. And hearing that, I feel, can give you some relief, can give you some healing. And that, I think that's more effective than any amount of self-talk um does. It's just like reassigning that burden back onto where it was supposed to be in the first place, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the reason why the absence was so long was because, and the reason why I didn't reconnect with my dad was because my mother made sure that I was I there's a lot more to it, but there was a sheltering of going on. I was also a very sick kid. So I didn't have, you know, a life of going out and being. I'm very introverted and whatnot, and that kind of happened more when I was a child because my mom would control everything that I do. So during the divorce and the separation of my dad, my mom always knew where my dad was. She never told me because she didn't care to. Like I said, she had her person. She felt like she did what she needed to do for me. So it was like there was that separation, but to I'm only using myself as an example to say that that when he came back as an adult and found me as an adult, there was a completion, and there was also a start. It was like, okay, this hole is full, and then there was a start because there was a lot of questions, and I didn't get those questions answered until that actually happened. Being in front of my dad, having conversations, saying, hey, you how I never got to ask my dad, how do you feel about the divorce? My dad hasn't been married since. He hasn't been married since this happened. He had long term relationships, but he hasn't been married since. So those things kind of stay with you, and they answer the questions for, for the recovery. And like I said, watching him heal, knowing that he had 10 years of recovery and of alcoholic and everything, having him having a home, him having employment, things that I didn't see necessarily when I was growing up and whatnot. Those brought in recovery and healing for me, and it made sense for me. So the point Apollo was saying, that being bitter and being a bee and being all this stuff, yeah, I had those phases in my life. Yet the phases that I am in now is in the healing and the recovery and the witnessing of, our life together. So for me, the void has been filled. For me, the recovery has happened. The healing is always going to be there. So I just wanted to say that, just kind of change the language, because not all women that went through the absentee father thing are bitter, are mad, are upset, or anything like that. It's just maybe the ones that you deal with is in that phase of their lives, but they need grace and favor too, because they may not know how they are going to recover or heal. Yeah, that's just really it.
So why is it? So are you trying to say that it's a bad thing for me to have a preference that I would like a woman that was raised with men? You know what I'm saying?
No, it's
Because
not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to have a
okay,
preference. It isn't.
yeah.
I'm just saying that, it comes off as being an
Okay, because
absolute
Trump.
when you say stuff like that.
Okay,
That's
but Trump, but
all.
Trump. Okay, you've been having your dad for these past few years in your life, and if he was not there, Trump, I do 100% feel like you would be a different person. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? All right, so what's so bad? Because I feel like y'all trying to make it like it's something bad that what I'm. If it's a topic,
No,
why y'all trying to make it seem like it's bad that what I'm
No.
saying?
Well, my
no,
point.
I'm not. I'm trying not to tell you that it isn't bad that what you're saying.
Because
I think you're
I
taking
because
it that
know
way, but I'm
plenty
not trying to
of
come off that way.
women.
but
I
but
know
but then
plenty of women that had the father in the household, Polo. Plenty of them. And they were the biggest hoes. I'm sorry. Okay?
were they a bitch? Were they a bitch? Were they a bitch?
Well,
You,
Polo,
you
there
know
are
what I'm
women
saying?
that have their father in their life that are bitches too.
But
They're
I
harder
bet Trick.
bitches. But
Okay,
they're
but Rich,
harder
Rich,
bitches. Let me say this real quick too. Lisa Ray made a comment, right? She made a comment, and she not a comment, but she was doing a show, and they asked her about her father in her life, and her father was in her life, and she said, "This is the reason why I don't like being told no, because my daddy never told me no." Okay, she said, I demand what the fuck it is that I want and how to get it. And nobody's telling me no. He ain't telling me no, and y'all not gonna tell me no, especially a man. And when a man tells me no, I don't play that. Lisa Ray is one of the biggest bitches. Okay, and her daddy was in her life, Polo. So not everybody that's
but
fatherless,
I want to say
female
she
wise.
ain't no hoe. But she ain't no hoe though.
We don't know what she practiced, and
Man, hey, Rich, if you was a date a woman, right? And she act like you'll be like, man, hell, man, it ain't gonna be
Polo.
two
My
bitches up in
ex
here.
best friend father was in the house, but not
That's
present.
your friend. You talking
But
about somebody that
she
you
was
want
a
to be with,
hoe. She's a hoe.
and her daddy was around.
Yeah, he was around. He just wasn't present. He
That
wasn't
motherfucker.
active.
All right, so that's the point that we try to make here, right?
That's
But he was
Polo.
there, Paula,
You just said he wasn't there.
and she
He
wasn't no
wasn't at them.
bitch. She wasn't a bitch, but she
She
was
was
a
a
hoe.
hoe. Right. That's what I'm saying. When they daddy ain't around, they gonna be a bitch or a hoe.
That's not always true.
Man,
Polo,
it is. That shit is true. That shit is fucking fuck that shit.
either or.
For some, yes.
And they'll be like they gonna feel like because they around a mama, they around a auntie, they around that you don't need that. You ain't gotta take man, hell no. You ain't
Paula,
gotta
was
take
your
up for
father
that.
around?
Yes. I'm with my daddy right now.
What about your
Right
mama?
as we speak. She right here too.
So you know
And
they say,
and that be my my
you know
mama
they
and my
say,
daddy.
Polo, that
My,
when the boys, the man is not in a son's life, he either gay or feminine. And your mother was there, Polo. You masculine and a motherfucker. So the shit that you saying and the shit that they be saying, none of that shit matters.
but
Everything is situational.
my mama grew up with no daddy. My mama a fucking bitch. That's what I'm trying to say. My mama is a fucking
What?
bitch. She ain't had no daddy. My mama mean as shit.
Mama.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. She not submissive at all. Hell no.
Well, Polo, submission
Like my
comes into
mama is
play.
like, I'm independent. I run this shit, and I don't want a woman like that. Like a boss. You know, like to where why we both can't be a boss. You can't you trying to out trump me type shit. You know what I'm saying? No, man, I want a fucking lady.
Well, Sammy's submissive when she needs to be or wants to be in her relationship, and her daddy wasn't technically there the entire time.
That's true. So she might be like a Sammy is a one in a million.
No, Sammy is
She a special
situational
diamond.
because she was in a situation. She
Yeah,
had
but she
Hey,
to.
also got that
But
nigga,
listen,
I don't need you. Like you okay, some type of shit that you know what I'm saying, he might not want to deal with. Now I ain't saying that it's wrong, but
I'm
you
just
know
saying
what I'm
that
saying?
Sammy is submissive when she wants to be and when she feels comfortable. Submissive comes in all
I
different
agree.
forms for different people. And I would be submissive in my own relationship if I was comfortable enough. But I'm not finna be submissive to a motherfucker that can't pay shit, can't do shit, and I gotta turn around and walk behind him to clean up his motherfucking tracks. Submissive comes with comfortability. And if I'm not comfortable, I'm not being submissive. Sammy is
Do
submissive
you
to a
want to
certain
be
extent.
submissive? Oh,
But
that's the
listen, wait, I'm
question.
not
Do
done.
these
Wait,
do,
hold on. Sammy is submitted to a certain extent. However, Sammy had to had to step up to a certain extent as well, and she had to be more dominant in areas. So she had to adapt. There's a difference. Do I want to be submissive? Not necessarily, but I want to be, I want to be comfortable.
but see, somebody like Lucky that got a daddy, she want to be submissive. You know what I'm saying?
I
Right,
don't.
Lucky?
That's a lucky question. That's not. I can't.
And whoever else up here, they it was raised around men. I mean, bruh, you don't want no woman. Man, you ain't gonna want no woman that ain't got no daddy. Man, y'all crazy.
I mean, I
Rich,
just
I
the reason why
when they
I
said
say differently.
you ain't gonna want no woman that ain't got no, cause you gonna feel like, oh, we both ain't gonna be no bitch.
all right.
No,
To
man.
be fair, to be fair, Polo is kind of I get Polo what it's saying too because you want someone who had a healthy childhood. It's just that Polo is just saying it in a different way. That's all Polo's
My
saying.
reasoning for being a bitch doesn't come from for me or for a couple of people don't come from um, the absentee father. I feel like the reason people are bitches are from life experiences that cause them to go through things that they no longer want to go through, and
I don't
ways
believe in
to
that. I don't believe in that.
ways for them to get through things or to get over on certain things or is to become a little bit more stern, and certain women are not bitches, they're just a
Let's
little bit more assertive.
Man,
And
I don't believe in that.
let's
when a
welcome
man
Empress
does it,
to the
he's not a
stage.
bitch though. There's so
My
many
cousin is here.
Hey,
Man, yo,
Quinn.
there's so many boss females out there. And they're considered bitches because they don't take no bullshit. They're real stern in their delivery. But they're not bitches.
Hey, Sammy. Hey,
Rich,
Rich.
you
Credit.
know, for
Hey,
a person child, their whole adultship is made up by the time they like 9 or 12. You know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers know what the fuck going on.
Polo.
So
I
if
just.
you around your bitchy
Mm,
ass mama, your bitchy ass auntie, you gonna be a bitchy ass woman. You know what I'm saying? I don't, man. Uh, that shit is I don't
Empress
like no
finna clear it
bitchy.
up.
I
Empress finna
want a
clear it
woman
up.
that's been around men. You know what I'm
Polo.
saying? Like,
Polo.
what the fuck, bruh?
Polo. Can she hear me?
You know? Like, hell no.
Oh, I don't think she
All
can.
that, I can do this. I'm independent. Or they just
Empress, I
mean.
can hear you.
Polo, can
Oh,
you
my
hear
bad.
Polo.
Queen?
Polo, can you hear me?
Polo,
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, I can hear. I can hear all of y'all.
okay.
Oh, okay, Polo.
Okay.
I was just trying to say, because you were
They
on the
they
panel.
partying in my neighborhood, so I'm putting it on mute. But I can hear y'all.
Yeah, you were on the panel with, like I myself was raised in a two-parent household. And I can't say that my having my father made me more submissive or more accommodating to men. In fact, it did the opposite. It made me more headstrong, more intolerant to take bullshit because I had a strong male figure in the household. Excuse me, I have a screaming teenager. But so is Polo, you there, Polo?
I don't think Polo can hear Empress Queen. Polo, hello? All of y'all muted.
I'm right here.
Okay, Rich is there.
I'm here.
Okay, hold on. We got Empress Queen back. Polo, Polo. I don't think Polo can. Let me type in the back chat. Oh, okay. Polo just dropped. Okay, he'll pop.
where
He'll
where
pop.
did I leave off at? I mean,
Oh, you were
You
explain.
were saying
You
that.
said you were headstrong,
Yeah.
and I
okay,
think that's the
yeah.
last part.
Yeah, and then I, so I would actually argue the opposite, that the women I saw growing up, and this is no shade, without fathers, they were more docile and more submissive to men because they had no compass. They didn't know, they're going by what they're taught, and they also want to have a certain amount of validation from a man in which they never had. So I feel like it's the opposite of what Polo's saying from what I've seen growing up. And I think there could be a mixture of the two. Like, I don't think everybody that had a father in the house was a Catholic schoolgirl and wasn't a hoe. But y- yeah, I don't, Polo, I don't know.
I wish Polo would have came back. I don't know what happened to Polo, but I mean this topic was definitely. Child, I still have more talking points.
Well, what's the other points too? Because I most definitely agree. What the fuck Polo talk about? But I get, but Polo can't just generalize that for everybody.
Right. That's what someone was saying in the chat that it
Oh,
was
they
a
said that too. Okay, good.
yeah that it was a generalization.
Yeah,
Where's Polo?
at the
Polo
cookout.
died. Let me see. Okay, that was.
Yeah, that's what Maria said. Yeah, it's true. Like, he's just like totally just generalizing. You can't say that everybody that grew up without a father is a bitch and a hoe. And then when you try to break it down to him, he goes, "Well, was you a bitch? Oh no, then she had to be a hoe." It's like, what?
Polo might be drunk. Um. All right. Let me see. Y'all waiting on me?
I don't hear nobody but you, Sammy.
I was enjoying the silence because
Ah,
Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you, Empress.
So
Lucky,
it's just me and you?
no, Trip just said something.
Hi,
Uh-oh.
Empress.
You didn't hear
I'm
her?
in the building. I'm
Mm-mm.
still in
I
the
see Lucky's
building.
bubble
You
moving
can
right
hear
now.
Yep.
me, Lucky?
Can you hear me, Empress?
Empress, can you hear Lucky?
No, she can't hear me.
All right, I'm gonna get down because I don't want to mess up the show. Obviously, when I came up, the audio start messing up. I'm
Oh,
gonna
No,
go back
no.
to
I
the
think it's
chat.
because Polo dropped it.
Yes, because Polo dropped down too. Uh-oh. Uh, uh-oh.
Oh Lord, what
Everybody,
happened? What happened?
I'm not even touching nothing. Everybody just
Oh goodness.
dropped like flies, child. Well,
Yeah. Okay.
let me see.
This
What
is
time is
definitely
it?
a good
Oh,
conversation.
right? Oh, child. It done got hopping over here for a second. Okay, we got Miss Beef Patty back.
Hold
Okay.
on, what happened?
I have no idea. Y'all just started dropping like flies. Okay, we got Lucky back. Okay, can y'all hear each other?
Well,
I hear Lucky loud and clear. Go ahead, boo.
I think what happened was Polo dropped.
Yeah, Polo took the audio with them.
Yeah, Empress should come back up. She
Yeah.
didn't.
Come on back, Empress. You can be raised by a single mom and not be a hoe. It comes down to the values you're taught and the example your mother sets for you. Being raised by a single mother isn't the problem. Right. Okay, so let's go to segment two. Hold on. So when that relationship is missing or difficult, we can tend to look for validation from our partners. We have difficulty trusting, which is something you said. Someone's mentioned that. There's a fear of abandonment, choosing emotionally unavailable partners,
Mhm.
fact, accepting inconsistent treatment.
Mhm.
Mm,
Mhm.
facts.
Because you don't have a direction or a gauge.
No, but not only that, you're already learning to accept it from the man you know.
Mhm.
Because, oh, it's my dad. So whenever he comes back into, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm always going to welcome you back. I'm happy to see, you know what I'm saying? You learn to accept that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why, like what Lucky was saying, our relationship with our father is our very first, relationship with a man. And of course, it's on a father's level. Again, we talked about the things that the father plays in our role as a parent, right? And we said, we said protection, validation, boundaries, emotional security, and confidence. That is the boost that a present father can give us. Um, did you guys want to add anything to that?
When you said that, it kind of that reminded me that when my dad was around before the divorce, my dad actually taught my mom how to cook because my mom would only make like certain things. And after the divorce, my mom stopped cooking. My mom stopped cooking and her partner would cook. It was almost like her partner became the man for her because even in those times, people would say, okay, well, is your mom the stud or is she the lipstick or vice versa? And so watching that, happened, it kind of reminded me that, like she was kind of forcing her partner to be the male role and be more dominant. She would even have her partner, if I did something wrong or said something or anything, try to be the disciplinary, which is kind of like what I see a male role happening. So it's just, it's certain things like that. Like when you start to, when I came out of it, it's, there was a lack of trust. And to be honest with you, I still have, some gray areas with trusting men and whatnot. But it's kind of it, yeah, it's just kind of stuff like that. So when you said the provider, and you know stuff like that, it just reminded me of things that I seen when I grew up, because it seemed like when my mom got her partner, and she's still with her partner, they've been together 33 years and whatnot. It seemed like she got she got the male role, but in a female, because her partner acted as the male. So yeah, just that. I just want to make that point. That's it.
I just feel like there's certain situations where the father isn't there because he's deceased. You know,
Mm,
sometimes it's not always a matter of, you know, he wasn't there, he left. You know, some people didn't get the opportunity to have a father at all. You know, other than after birth. You know, he's clearly just not there. He's gone. He's deceased. So how do you explain that to somebody who never had the father, that grew up, you know, being raised by their mom, maybe a stepdad, maybe no stepdad, and still makes an amazing decision on the man that she marries. She makes amazing decisions in men that she picks. She's great to her child. She doesn't have any men issues. She doesn't have any heartache. She wasn't explained on the do's and the don'ts when it comes to men. She didn't have that figure there at all, and she still was able to kind of make great decisions. Didn't carry any issues. You know, I just feel like certain things are situational, and to not excuse those who've had, you know, some issues with an absentee father, but it doesn't always pan out like that for somebody. You know, some people, you know, some relationships are better off with that motherfucker not there, especially if he was an alcoholic, a drug abuser. No, with no disrespect to those parents who have been, but sometimes they're better not there. They're better off not being around, especially when you're not coming with um, some great parenting skills. You coming with bullshit. No, it's better off that you do not come around. So, I mean, I'm just up in arms about it a little bit. I have some reservations about the conversation, but I mean, I agree, but not wholeheartedly.
Okay. Is it raining there?
Yeah, a little bit.
I hear it.
You hear,
Mm-hmm.
you probably hear me hitting it. I'm driving fast.
Child, you be careful.
Thank you. I mean,
But
I know women that make bad decisions in men with the daddy around. I know women that
mhm,
are insecure with their daddies around, active and all. I know women
mhm,
with no fathers that have stepped up and became the father figure in their own household, and still a submissive, still if you want to call obedient to their husbands. You know, they just have certain issues in other areas with their fathers not around, if they even call it an issue. You know, I
mhm,
mean, I just feel like in this day and time, and it's no disrespect to Trip or what it is that she's been through, but I just feel like
mhm.
in this day and time, not us 80s babies, 90s babies, and stuff like that, or before, this day and time, these niggas are gang banging with daddies at home. You know what I mean? It's not like daddy went home, you know, you turn to the streets for a father figure. No, daddy at home, he's a lawyer, and this nigga gang banging. He wants to be a blood of the crip. This nigga want to fuck bitches. You know, he don't want to marry a wife. His parents are happily married. They show love and attention. Buy this little man, this little nigga, whatever he want. He want to fuck the hoes, and he want to, marry bad bitches. You can't win for losing. With all the areas and all everything that's in order, she's still gonna go left. I don't know.
Mhm.
What
Well,
you got to say
y'all
about
make
it?
sure y'all like this video. This has been a great, great, great conversation. Shout out to everybody that has been on the panel. We got Empress Queen back in the building. We had the most hated in the building. Shout out to Ben and Polo. We got Trip, Richard Lomax, Empress Queen. Thank you guys so, so, so much for joining us.
Welcome, Sammy. Who the fuck knocking around pots and pans? What's
Oh
going
shit!
on?
Oh shit!
Oh my
My
God, what's
bad.
going
I'm
on?
sorry.
You good?
I wanted to say, before I forgot, did y'all see that clip that went viral or Corey Holcomb saying that it's easier to leave the mama, I mean, leave the kid when you don't love the mama, and most men ain't willing to admit that?
Mm.
Wait,
But I
say
can
that one
see
more time. It's
some
easy to
men
leave the
do
mama what?
that is
Corey Holcomb.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He said most men aren't willing to admit this, but if I don't love your mama, it's easier for me to leave you.
Oh shit.
Yo,
Oh.
and I
Oh.
don't really like him per se because he has a lot of controversy,
Yes, he
but
does.
that I'm not gonna lie, that is what he's right. Like men aren't saying it verbally, but they're showing it with their actions and how many I mean, single parent, single mother
Yeah.
households there are.
Yeah.
And then you got them dudes that they just pay for the kid with the woman they live with. So if they go live with another woman, they'll take care of those kids, but they won't take care of their own. So it's kind of
That
some truth to that.
I agree. That I agree with. Wow. Didn't think about it like that, but absolutely. I don't like if I don't like your mother, I don't want to be with her. I'll leave her and your ass.
Yeah, he said that's the thing that most men aren't willing to admit, but it's what's happening in our culture every day. And we wondering why there's so many single mamas because I slept with you, I like you, but I ain't
Mm,
necessarily love you enough to stay, you know?
I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, you're okay.
I'm hitting it too. Let me slow down.
So I do want to encourage healing, you guys, and I say this to myself as well. You know, there's therapy, counseling, mentors, and positive role models, building self worth, and we should explore what it means to build self worth. I would like to go a little bit deeper with that one. Setting healthy boundaries and
Oh, I love the self-worth one. I was thinking about that too,
yeah,
how important that is.
I want to discuss what that looks like, building self worth and choosing partners intentionally.
And
So,
flower essences. Okay, there you go.
No more flower essences, Trip, man. You
trip
did us in
and
early.
essences.
Wait a minute. There is actual flower essences named mother wounds, father wounds, and they actually do work. It actually does work in your system and in your body to heal the the energy and the trauma that you have been through.
But my thing is, are we gonna hallucinate? Because I don't want to
No, I don't
hallucinate.
hallucinate. I was jacked up on caffeine
Oh,
earlier today. I
so
was
it has no, it's like a placebo, it has no
it,
effect.
no, no, it's the exact opposite. It has the effect. It doesn't. What it does is that okay. So it's the plant medicine being extracted, and how they extract it is through water and a certain alcohol that they use, and they let it sit out in the sun, or they do whatever process, they'll distill it or whatever it is, and then they put it into the bottle, and you let that sit for about 24 or 48 hours. And what happens is that whatever that plant is, like say if it was weed, so if you're going to get weed and you're going to get the essence out of it, you're going to get that direct strand of that weed, particular what healing properties it has, what it'll do for you, and stuff like that. So with a, say another one, a rose, it's going to bring up love issues and healing properties around love, and all kinds of stuff. So what happens is they extract the medicine from the plant, and you take it, and I take 4 drops of the each ones that I have. And so you take 4 drops, and what it does is just moves through your body, and it clears those wounds. It clears those energies or anything that you're trying to heal or anything like that. um, I just say that because I went through therapy. It worked for me. It had its limit, and then I called out the spirit to try something else. And I've been doing plant medicine off and on for about 5 years now, and now I do it regularly because it's gentle for me, because I don't take medication and I can't take medication. So that stuff, it works. It's just a alternative approach of healing. And I gotta say, if you don't like it or whatever, then don't try it. But it has helped me, along with other vitamins and coupled with other stuff, to actually be able to um, do things that I haven't been able to do in a long time. So yeah, I would encourage people to just try it whichever way. And you don't have to try the ones with alcohol. If you don't want the alcohol in it, there's ones that have glycerine in it. But do whatever that works for you, that's potent for you, because it does work fast. I've been on this for 30 days, and um, the changes have been amazing. It really has. And no, it's not a psychedelic, it's just an essence.
Okay.
But
Now, no, that's
no.
that sounds no, it sounds, great and all, but to yeah. Um,
Well,
go ahead.
you were talking about self-worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and um,
Uh-huh.
I got thrown off by the whole flower essence thing because I did take flower essence before. I think it was called Box for like
Yeah.
stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. That's like an old school thing. But back to what I think just talk about self worth, right? So every time I think about self worth, right, there is a Bob Marley song that I think about that reminds me of what it is, right? It's called Could You Be Loved or Be Loved, right? So it's like um, it's like it's a question, like, are you set up to receive love, right? And that's a self-worth type of question, right? Are you set up? Because like self-worth is like a filter, right? If you gotta that self-worth has to be strong in order for you to even receive it. So I feel like it's very important to this whole thing. Was that the question? I don't even remember what the question was. I'm sorry.
I think Sammy was saying, how do you build self-worth or build self-love?
Oh, okay. Oh, self-worth or
Like, what would be some of the things you can do to build it? I would recommend therapy, depending on what kind of trauma you had in your
uh-huh.
past.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Uh-huh. Okay.
but some people are opposed to that, I guess, the community is still weary about it. But I would
But how
definitely
would you know that you even need help with self-worth? I think that's another question too, because some people they might not even know that they have low self-worth
right. I
to
think
go get that therapy. Mhm.
yeah, a lot of people go undiagnosed, untreated. But I think at a certain point in someone's life, when there is a pervasive pattern that keeps just, is showing its ugly head, more people might be open to therapy nowadays. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. How would they know? I think maybe the feedback of others around them over a period of time. Everybody
Mhm.
telling you an asshole, maybe you might be an asshole, or if you seem to have the same relationship patterns and you just get tired of it one day and you decide you want to seek therapy. Like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that might bring people to that point where even like a midlife crisis, where they might be like, yeah, it might be me, or I might need some help outside of myself.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
Uh, where's the host?
Sammy? For real.
I don't know if
Well,
something might be wrong with her audio. And then I can't hear
well,
Trip. You there?
well,
Uh
I
oh.
Yeah,
feel
I'm
like
here. I can hear you guys.
Okay,
well,
good.
I feel like uh another sign that it's low. I'm not sure if you said this, Empress, but when you need what I learned recently, when you need everyone in that room or in that space to agree with you, you know what I mean?
Mm,
So that you know where you
mm.
stand. That's another sign of low self worth.
Yeah, that's a good
Hmm.
point.
Yep. Yep.
And
You
I
know.
was gonna say to I don't know if we should continue if Sammy's having issues, but um uh I was gonna say to Trip earlier. You had said something to one of the, I think it could have been Polo, I'm not sure, but you was like, I think we need to focus more on the healing part of it. And when you said that, I thought about one of the ways that people can heal the father wounds or the mother wounds, whatever was absent in your formative years, is just acknowledging the fact that that person was at the place that they were at that time. And if you can forgive, like, basically, like, that kind of saying, like, they did the best they could with what they had. So
Yeah.
like, if you can forgive that, like your dad, he struggled with alcoholism at that time. He was at that place where he couldn't, you know, give you the best version of himself. Or any father that's absent from the household, or any parent, it's important to in order to forgive them for not, some people putting their children up for adoption, forgive them for just not being capable, and maybe they were a teenage mom or a teenage dad and they felt they couldn't do it. You got to get to a place, even though it's hard, to forgive that person for just managing what they had at that time, because we don't know what our parents went through when they were having us, and you know how hard it was for them. So I would just say that's one of the steps, I think, in forgiving and healing, would be to just allow that person the mistakes that they made at that time, and also forgive yourself.
I would have to
Yeah.
agree. But I wonder if Tip's father apologized
Oh, he did.
for his role. He did. Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, he did. He did. He did when we first reconnected, because there was like it was like a avalanche of things that he didn't know, and there was a avalanche on my end, and there was an avalanche on his end coming his way. and we just had a conversation about it, and we both were apologizing. We both, because I was in awe, and then I was like, what happened? And yeah, he apologized, and my father is really a he doesn't say too much now. He doesn't say too much, but there was a lot of apologies, and there was a lot of healing in finding out that he overcame certain stuff. Because like I said, I was kind of looking through like the child eyes that I had when we first reconnected, because it was like a lot of questions, and some of them just got answered with I'm sorry, and some of it got answered with just being present, to say hard things and to just be around. So it's really
I love,
and
I love
whatnot.
about an apology that comes with an apology is the change in action.
Absolutely, because I did when he left, he was an
I
alcoholic. When
stepped out
he
of Wi-Fi.
returned,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Can y'all hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I said one thing I love about an apology is the actions that come with it, and it seems like he apologized and stepped up and did what he needed to do to show you that he was sorry for anything that he might have done, and that right there I love. That right
Yeah,
there will let down every wall. I'll become vulnerable, and we can have the father-daughter relationship. Yep, love it,
yeah,
love it. Oh, I
yeah.
love that for you.
And
Yeah.
something else that you were I think it was Empress Screen or Lucky. I don't remember which one, but you were saying the forgiveness. The forgiveness was in the actions that my dad did. Was not not trying to relive anything. It was just like, okay, we're both here. Let's go on. And so that was very important to me. And we're not perfect, but it's good. It's good. Like there's no for me on his end, it's good. Um yeah, it's just good. It's
And
not perfect.
it might have been 20 years later, but I think Rich highlighted this where he said that father at that time, God may have removed him because he was going to be no good for you
Right. He
with
did
that,
it.
you know?
Things. I believe that there is no real coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. And
Right.
what
Right.
happened with my mom and her, I believe it took me a while to get here, but it took me a while to believe that it what she did and how it worked out. It worked out. It worked out the way that it needed to work out. Was there bad stuff that happened? Absolutely, but there it some of it was just mainly it was my mom like, okay, I want the love and regard, I want the partner that I want, and I'm going to move forward in that. And that's what set the stone for her. So looking back at it now, she has her partner. They'll be 34 years in September. Is she happy? Yes. So now that all this has happened, I believe it is what it is. It's just that I think for some people that things happen to them, they don't necessarily know or have the access to the healing that they need. So when you don't know what you need, call on God. And I believe honestly you will find right in front of you what you need, and just to start with it from there. And and forgiveness looks different for everybody. It may not come exactly the way that you think, okay, I'm sorry for this, or I forgive this person for this. It may just come with you doing your part and being enough in your life that what happened in the past is minutia to you, and it's not there anymore. You're
All right.
slowly but surely building yourself up, because the wounds that are in you are not there anymore. they're they're gone, because you can have a life where those wounds are gone, and move in that. So forgiveness comes in different ways, and healing comes in different ways. That's why I mentioned, I'll say it again, but some people find it in taking medication. Some people find it in taking flower essences. It's just, some people find it in meditation. Some people find it in talk therapy. Some people find it in different ways. And those wounds start to remove when you start to honor yourself and forgive yourself first with that. And your life just comes out a different way,
Well,
Yeah.
Trip, let me give you another scenario. What if you had a situation where, because we say, okay, forgiveness is important, right? But what if you had another situation where you were like what if it was like intentional harm, meaning that you were like living in like a golden child house, like one kid gets the encouragement, the benefit of the doubt, and the other one, it gets criticism all the time. How do you, because on one side you're saying, okay, that parent was incapable, but what if you know that they are capable of it and they don't give it to you anyway?
That was my mother. My brother was, we had a conversation a while ago, and he apologized to me during the conversation, and he said, Shatali, I am so sorry. It was like we were staying in the same house, but mom and my mom treated you like dog shit. It was like they treated him like he was the poster kid, and he was doing well. They treated me like I was absolute shit. So
Even
yeah,
in public?
in
Even in public? Because I know how some,
even in
they're,
public, even
okay,
coworkers. If you looked at us,
wow.
we looked like we were. It was Latinos and indigenous people, and black people. We looked like we were just. It was like four women and one man. That was my brother, and my mom had her issues with me, and I had my issues with my mom. My mom, to this day, I'm not allowed back at my mom's house. I left in 2013, and everybody had a key to my mom's house. So when I packed my stuff up and left, my mom walked out behind me and said, Shotsley, give me your keys. And I was like, what? She was like, give me your keys. And she said, now I have your keys. Don't bring your ass back. And I haven't been back since. Um, the healing that I have with my dad is not the healing that I have with my mom. Very, very different. Um, so moving towards forgiveness with the whole situation with my mother, very different for my dad. And it's not necessarily because we live together and all this stuff. It's because it was intentional and it was supposed to happen. um, on numerous occasions during the time that me and my mom been estranged, I reached out to her and was like, "Mom, I love you. I want you back in my life." And she would say, "I love you too," and there will always be an excuse and something like that. So I had to come to a place where if I'm trying to meet you where you're at and you're not there, I stay exactly where I'm at, and I go on. Do I love my mother? Absolutely. My mother is my first love. My mother is absolutely my first love. She's also my first pain. She's also the person that treated me in such a way that I couldn't understand why she would treat me that way. But there's healing there. for me, but not necessarily with her and whatnot. Oh, yeah. I hope that answered your question. It may lead to more questions, but I don't know.
Mm. Right. So yeah, Lucky brought up a great point that what if it was intentional and you can't come to a place of forgiveness? And I think that's a good point to explore too, because it's not necessarily everybody can be forgiven. I was speaking more so in the terms of like the reuniting kind of type thing, like Trip had, or like people that, or Sammy ended up, having her dad reemerge back into her life as well. But in those kind of situations where you're feeling like you can't forgive, you still have to come to a place where you're a healthy adult or you're a healthy individual without that person. And sometimes for some people, that means you have to cut that individual off, even if they happen to be a parent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for your own healing and for your own growth, and not by what society says, which is, oh no, you only get mother or one father. I mean, if they're detrimental to your healing and detrimental to your growth, then I would think one of the methods in dealing with that kind of situation would be to have boundaries and cut that specific parent off. It it
Yeah.
it
There's a,
sometimes it has to happen.
I just want to tell you guys that there's a lot of things that I am not saying.
Of course, right.
I'm just trying to stay to the point of it. But yeah, like I had to let my mom go. I have to let my mom go. My mom is not like I'll have a check in with my brother every once in 3 months, and he's connected to both of our parents, and he goes over there and he visits, and he tells me what's going on with her and whatnot, and he talks about they're up in age and they're moving on and whatnot. They're not well and whatnot. And I tell him, you know, at the place that I'm at right now with my mother, like I didn't agree with this, but it is what it is now for me. Is that my mom needs to move towards me. I made the effort to move towards her and to talk to her, and it wasn't reciprocated the way that it was. So um she's estranged in my life for that reason. And so, but it doesn't stop my healing, it doesn't stop me moving forward. It's just a part of me that is like, I did my part, and so you do yours. um,
And then that also comes in, like, even though you have to have your boundaries, the forgiveness, it also circles back to you having to forgive to a certain extent, not, may not be always completely, but just forgiving that person in her that didn't have the capacity to love the way she should have.
yeah.
And that's what I mean by forgiveness. Like, sometimes people just don't have the tools, or they just don't have the capacity, and they may dote on one child and treat the other, or have favoritism, but that means still at their core there's something malfunctioning within their parenting style, right? So that still goes back to that person doesn't have the capacity to truly pour into all of their children, and there's a something missing where they think that it's okay to conduct themselves that way, or whatever the case may be. So yeah,
Yeah.
you got to get to a certain healing space where you don't take that personal your whole life, because I've seen people that, grown men, like, oh, I never had my mother, my mother never loved me, and then it's like they walking around just dogging women or and stuff like that. It's like your mother may have not had the capacity to do what she needed to do for you, and so now it's a generation passed down where you're performing what you were missing, your mother wound, on women, unsuspecting women that didn't have nothing to do with that. So Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it goes deep, but I
Yeah.
think we're all capable of healing. And I'm gonna look into those flower essences. I'll do my research because
It's called Freedom Flowers. It's called Freedom Flowers. I think it's freedomflowers.com. But if it
hmm
doesn't come up with Freedom Flowers, just type in Freedom Flowers flower essences and it'll give you the right direction to go.
Look
Yeah.
who's here. Hey, Riri. Shout out to Riri in the building. Well,
Yeah.
listen, y'all, this has been an amazing topic. I don't want us to get too far off on, you know, but Trip, I do want to say thank you so much for sharing your story and just really, unpacking things and um how do you feel about the how did you feel about tonight?
I absolutely don't know how I feel. I didn't really know what I was going to say.
Mhm.
Honestly, I just wanted to give a version of a person that's been through
Yes,
whatever they've been through, and people can take
definitely.
it whatever which way that they want to.
No, it was
And
great. A unique perspective. I think, having an LGBTQ mom, and then the dynamic of when you met your dad being older, we related on that actually.
yeah.
So it was great. No, seriously.
Yeah,
Great.
and I just wanted to highlight that, what Rich was saying kind of encapsulated that, we do have absolutes in the general, and
Mhm.
we do have, the general and the absolutes, and everybody has a different story
Yeah.
with it. So we can't necessarily say this way or that way
Mhm.
because, going back, my dad didn't have his mother. I was completely raised without a grandmother.
Mm.
So you don't necessarily, it just be open. That's what I'm really just saying. Just be open because not everybody comes with the template. Not everybody comes with the solid way to go and be. And
Mm.
so I just appreciate hearing that somebody can hear me and say it in their way. So I just wanted to say that to Rich for, absolutely hearing what I said and understanding and, taking
Oh,
those
you're
points and
welcome, sis.
whatnot.
No problem.
That's
Yeah. And Empress, thank you for the questions, and Lucky, thank you for the questions. And I'll apologize to Polo if I have to tomorrow, but we'll worry about all that
let,
later.
let us know where we could find you here on YouTube.
Okay, my channel is Messy Metaphysics. Um I talk a whole lot of shit, and then I do readings and I have poll questions. If you're into it, cool. If you're not, cool. If you want to come over tomorrow, I have stupid shit said Saturday, and I'm just gonna go off of what I listen to other people's channels and I heard stupid shit, and I'm gonna repeat it and give my opinion on it. If you
Well,
like it, huh?
you are always welcome to do commentary on the channel, whether it's you agree or not. I welcome it all. So um,
Yeah.
it's good to have your support again. I think you are very funny, but you also keep it real, and so just keep doing you. And thank you so much for joining us.
All right, you guys. You guys have a good night and take care. All right.
You too.
Good
Bye.
night, boo.
Good night.
All right. And shout out to my girl Empress Queen. Shout out to Lucky. Shout out to Rich.
Yes, everybody. Shout out to y'all.
Everybody that was on it. Most hated Ben was here. Polo's Porch. Y'all make sure y'all check out Polo's Porch 2.0 and Benjamin News and More. Um who else was Oh, Charles. Shout out to Charles. Charles is not a content creator, but an awesome subscriber with a great point of view on these discussions. Shout out to him for joining the panel tonight as well and giving us his perspective and some yeah, he always comes through with a word. Let me see. Oh, there he is. Yes, you rest easy as well. Thank you again for joining us. Um, So yes, you guys make sure you follow Richard Lomax here on YouTube. Richard, what is it? Little Richard LO here on YouTube. Okay, Rich, you want to say anything? And Empress.
Me, no.
No, I'm good. It was a great show once again.
Yes, I was trying to get on to the last show yesterday, but I was busy. I've been busy. I'm sorry. I was
I
tired.
don't think I could hear Rich.
Oh, hello? Oh, but we can hear when she play it back. I've been busy and tired.
I hear you. That's why I'm wrapping it up now,
I
child.
know.
I am. Listen, I'm over here like, listen. I done twisted my hair, do my little rollers. Oh, thank you, Empress. Shout out to Empress Queen, another great supporter. And she has been awesome coming through and just dropping gems and her wisdom. It's been great. Thank you so much, Empress, for participating. I remember the very first time she hit the link. For the very first time, it was here on my channel, and it's been a great experience with her ever since. So she's always welcome,
Hmm.
as well as everyone else. And man, thank you guys so much for the support. Shout out to my sis Tati. Um, Shout out to everybody that was in the building tonight. Thank you for the gifts, Riri. I love you. Shout out to Ann.
Riri.
Yes. That's my girl. But yes, y'all. Thank you. This was awesome. We got speed dating tomorrow night, y'all. We gonna set it up.
I'll be there.
We gonna set it up and we gonna have a good time. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Should we go out with this song again or should I just close it out? I
Sure.
don't, why not? Okay. Let me see. Oh, wait. What is that? Let's go. Oh, you know what? This video got a little bit. Oh, no. We played that last night. No. Hold on, y'all. I don't want to play that one again. Good night, everybody. We going out with a song, y'all. Hold on. As soon as I can get it pulled up. Let's see if this one will go right to it. That might be the yeah.
What was you doing outside by yourself? My father locked me out.